Yeah, getting away with these bomb plants all over the place. And whilst the retake's coming in, they've already got a man advantage. A lot of damage dealt. Look at this. W's on a single point of health. Boost is perfect. Trade good, but a 4v3. Dobu's still rattling off shots. Just trying to be a bit of a distraction, man. Trying to bait them into his teammates. Crosshair, Jamyo, all on his lonesome. 3 players low, but he's not going to be able to get it done. And ATOX pick up the second. They bite right back. It's a bit of a worst-case scenario for a CT side. Now they're on double eco. And yeah, that's rough. That's a rough way to start off the game.
It really, really is. That conversion round, absolutely crucial to get hold of. And of course, losing it in such a manner. Luckily, they did a little bit of damage there as well, taking the weapons out of a couple of ATOX's hands there. But it's not really looking good for them coming into this. They have sort of four interesting choice, but hopefully we'll see it find that bit of impact that they need.
CSGO үзчихмээр санагдлаа.
A little bit of economic bonus here as well.
За тэгээд энэхүү энэ раундын дараа яри ямар хөө тэмцээн ямар ч та тэмцээн ямар багууд оролцож байгаа вэ гэдэг.
Pistols on the other side of things. Now, these players mechanically very capable of getting it done with tools like this.
ATOX буюу манай Монгол багийн пикэлсэн Ancient гэж марктэй тоглож байна да. 5YCLONE буюу одоо X rare atom шүү дээ. За 4-3 ага ерөнхийд нь эзэлсэн City-ийг тоглож байгаа coolest Jamyanг гүйцээсэн 4-2. За Mosaya Kesa хоёроос буугаас сэлж таарах юм болоо да. 2-1 болж байна.
Yeah, nice little distraction play from Yami there too. Even though he only actually finds himself 1 kill, he does enough there in the form of just keeping the B players busy, slowing down those rotations. He does give them an extra rifle, so whilst we will see an eco in the next round, they'll have an M4 and an AK to work with, a chance to maybe do a little bit of damage, try and keep that T economy honest, because at the moment, it's got a good chance to snowball.
It does indeed, and that is what Cyclone desperately want to try avoid here. Now, even though, as we said, that was...
Third round-ыг ATOX авахар болж байна. Өчигдөр их байнтай хаа гэж үгсэг үлээ.
Just applying onto different areas of the map. Messiah, almost spotted there. That could have been scary.
За тэгээд энэ ямар учиртай.
He puts his head up there and even entertains the idea of trying to take a gunfight, but as soon as he hears them coming, he hears a few more than just 2 footsteps.
Ямар учиртай тэмцээн юм бэ гэхээр шүү дээ.
Tucks his head back down. Probably the right call to make. So, as I mentioned before,
I am СИДНЕЙ 2023 руу явах цоор ганц нэг багийг тодруулах Asian qualifier тэмцээн байгаа. Asian qualifier-д 4 баг оролцож байна. За тэг миний хувьд бол одоо зүгээр watch party буюу одоо community casting хийж байна. Нөгөө Монголд болон Linevision багуудын тоглолт. Мета дээрс хурж байгаа.
So much pressure, just forced right back, the smoke and molly combo.
За тэгээд зөвхөн Twitch-ээс feed авч байгаа. Гадаад кастерт feed авч байгаа учраас давхар угаасаа каст явуун тэрийг бол угаасаа мэдж байгаа.
Could maybe have a chance to do a little.
Зарууга орчор бомбол тавьсан. Донатаас Мосе ороод ирсэн. Донат харж байгаа тоглож байхгүй шүү манайхаас. За тэраа Мосе Меркури 2 орж ирээд Coolest MIK 2-ыг унгасан. За тэгтээ Донатаас дахиад нэг тоглогчд ирж байгаа манайхаас double. За бомб салчсан тоглож ямар ч унгаас 3-1 болж байна. За тэгээ нөгөө талд болохоор Монголд Linevision багуудын тоглолт явж байгаа. За тэгээд харамсалтай Монгол 2 багаас нэг нь л явна. Сидней рүү.
But definitely scary for ATOX to see that
цоргон цог явна.
That's going to be getting them paranoid.
Энэ тоглолтод ATOX сууж дараагийн тоглолтод одоо нөгөө тоглолт нэр Монгол суучих юм бол ATOX Монгол зэрэг хоорондоо тоглоно. За тэгээд аль нэг нь lower bracket руу унаад. Тэгээд тоглолтод явах юм.
Lovely opening, better start. It's exactly what they need right now as well. They've kind of been lacking those opening picks in these past couple of rounds.
Энэ гадаад кастрын маань
It
сонирхол байна да тий манайхаа.
It will look like we'll just back up there. Advent caught Dobbo out in the open there, full blind as well. That's an uncomfortable one. A little bit of fight in mid, poking the head up does Messiah, spots one, but it's just going to fall away, not wanting to lose
Тэгээд мэдээж ATOX дөнгөж шинээр байгуулагдсан ATOX багийн хувьд бол бүрэлдэхүүн нь MIQ Cabal Coolest Dobbo Yami гэсэн таван залуу байна. За тэдний эсрэг тоолж байгаа Cyclone багийн хувьд бол X Rare Atom 5 дөрөвч дасалжуулагч тагаа зургуулаа. За ийм нэрээр бол орж байгаа. Rare Atom багтайгаа одоо organization-тэйгээ бас гэрээ сунх тал дээр асуудал үүссэн учраас шинэ өөр нэрээр одоо их тэмцээнэлд оролцоод явж байгаа да.
This will be a very important round for the economy as well. So ATOX really needs to win this. They will be forced back onto an eco if not. So important one to win. Weaponry not looking great, however, though we can see that Mac 10 there, the pistol there on Cabal as well. Not really what you want to see taking into a fight like this.
Cyclone pick гэсэн overpass гарч ирнэ. За хэрвээ decider map болох юм бол нүк гэсэн 3 map.
Not quite gonna catch anyone.
Энэхүү тоглолтын 3 map сонгогдсон байгаа. За MIQ бэрүү хурдтай ороод ирсэндээ Cyclone ямар сайтанд бол 2 тоглож байгаа даа. За Dobbo Advent-ийг 12 HP-тэй болгосон уулан бомб тавигдж байна. Касе энэ оронд бол нарийнаар нь гараад ирж байгаа. Бомб тавигдсан 4 эсрэг 2. Яами ганцаар үлдсэн өрөөнд байна. За улаан салгачулууг нь их хэрэгтэй байна да. Жохон зүудшээ бодчихвол яам юм. Амжилттай бомб бол тавигдсан.
Scoreline going to be tied up. ATOX without any money really as well. Obviously the bomb point gives them a little bit of extra cash, an extra $800. So
тэгээд Монгол улсын ATOX багийн хувьд одоо IM СИДНЕЙ 2023 энэхүү тэмцээний одоо Asian QUALIFIER тоглож байна. За мөн Perfect World гэж одоо хятадын групп байгаа. E-спортын. За тэгээд тэрхүү бас тэмцээнд мөн оролцож байна. 8 баг оролцож байгаа тэмцээн. За мөн ESL Challenger Season. ESL Challenger Season 46 гейм. Asia Pacific бүсдэр бас өрсөлдөж байгаа. За тэгээд мөн тэрхүү тэмцээнээс цорын ганц ялагч нь нэг болон 2 дугаар онд орсон багууд нь ESL Pro League Season 19-д орох эрхээ авах юм байна. Ер нь бол нэлээд чухал маш олон тоглолтууд их юм. ATOX болон Монгол багуудын хувьд. За ATOX-оос Echo round орж ирсэн. Coolest. За энэ sound-ны юутай delete байна да тий.
And that's 2 AKs on their side as well, which is incredibly dangerous. You know, and the Deagles as well. You just need a couple of good shots from that and you really have a round on your hands out of nothing seemingly.
За одоо хөлж байгаа. Ситигээс Моссая. Temple jamming байгаа юм байна. Тийг бол утаад авсан. Энэ гэхдээ сон gapтай smoke байна уу да гэж харагдаад байна. Jangon Temple-ээс гарч ирсэн 3 тоглогчийг унгаачлаа. MIQ ганцаар үлдсэн. За 4-3 болж байна. Тэр бол ATOX-ын pick гэсэн map байгаа.
Well, you've just got to cross your fingers and hope no one's lingering. That's beautifully played from Jamyoung. And a round that looked like it definitely could have gone sour recovers itself perfectly. ATOX.
ESL
yeah, again, it's one that doesn't come with
Pro League Season 19-д бол манай Монгол 2 баг явах боломж байгаа. За энэ тэмцээнд бол Clutch Gaming D13
has no imminent threat just yet.
Багад мөн тоглож байгаа.
They have not been able to counter by that AWP either. So they haven't had that opportunity to have that sort of AWP on AWP battle. For Cabal though, look at that run up into the smoke though. The space taken is absolutely huge. Yami there, getting that pick.
Нэгээр сольсон 4-4 мэдтэй нэг толж байна да. Jamyong. За, Yami трейдинг оруулж гисэн. Mercury бэг нэрээр гарч ирсэн. MIQ. Yami-гийн трейдинг Mercury дээр оруулж гисэн. Kasa мид дээр ганцаараа байгаа. За манай хоёр тоглогч энэ голд бомб уучаад байгаа юм гол нь. За энэ дээр нэг гоё тайминг дээр гарчмаар байгаа юм да. Нэг смок нэг моли байна. За мэдээ гоё утсаа. Бомб бол ямар ч авлаад авч байгаа. Бэрүү гэсэн чинь Каса өрөөдөл яадаг үлээ да манай орч ойлоо бэрүү ирж яадаг.
Instantly peeks out. They almost line up for him. Is he really going for a fight here, guys?
Тото алдсан да. Допу Каса күүцээсэн 4-4 болж байна раунд ярьцаа.
I didn't like that. The first pick fantastic.
За Mercury
fighting for the second is
баллагч шүү.
But he just overstays his welcome. He really overstays his welcome there. Didn't want to play the mind games. He wanted to kind of play that round on.
Cyclone shoot force by гарч ирж байгаа.
Then he missed his shot. It was kind
2 MP9-тай нэг Famast 2 Famast-тай 2 MP9. За тэгээд Kasa автай.
He has to rotate back around to the A bomb site, something of the sort, but yeah, didn't want to be doing so.
I thought he was going to go for the no scope genuinely.
Yeah, it felt that way.
Ooh, spam through the smoke finds a little bit of damage.
Jamming шүү мэдээрээ бүрсэн Capiтай контакт үүснэ. Өрөөгөр манахаас хоёр тооч мидийн контролыг авах боломжтой. Мэдээр хоёр тооч гарч ирж байгаа. Бэгийн нарийн дээрээс хоёр тооч гарч ирээ. Ямарс мидийн контролыг бол авсаа. Donut jamming байгаа.
Find himself a little bit of footing on the
Мосиан 58 HP-тэй.
He's in a really interesting position here as well.
Wall bank дуулцсан юм шиг байна да. Бэгийн сайт дээр байж
any
байгаа.
sort of rotation that looks like it's going to come through.
Тэгээд манай Монгол багуудын хувьд бол оролцох боломжтой одоо амжилттай боломжтой хэд хэдэн том тэмцээнүүд бол бас байгаа. Одоо АМ СИДНЕЙ рүү шалгарах. За perfect world-ийн тэмцээн. Энэ дээр гоё таймуудад гараад ирэл маш гоё болондоо сайт нэг тоглож байгаа та Jamyong. Улаан хүндээ Jamyong half HP-тэй. Заач дөөдөөс тулаад одоо тэрэлдээд юу болов доо гэхдээ Cabal Kasa-г нас допу smoke-ын төрж хооронд Jamyong-ыг унгааж байгаа юм байна. 5-4 болох нь ойлгомжтой боллоо. За тэг force by хийц учраас Cyclone то мөнгө байхгүй. X rare атом. Тэр экорч таарна.
It is the CT economy absolutely punishing.
6-4 боломж байна.
Interesting to look at that sort of battle on site there. The smokes absolutely insane. People pushing
За тэгээд бас манай ATOX-ын чинь одоо миний бас хамтран ажилладаг Melbit гэж спорт боцны сайттай хамтран ажилладаг. Тийм баг байгаа. За Монголоос өөр чинь D13 бас хамтран ажилладаг. PUBG Mobile-аас хэмээл Star Wars e-sport мөн Melbit-тэй хамтран ажилладаг. Тэгээ Монголын e-sport-ийн бас организашнуудыг дэмжиж ажиллаж байгаа Melbit. Баярснаа илэрхийлээ гэхдээ стримний доор фитний доор one expect гэж лого байгаа учраас би одоо community cast хийж байгаа учраас ямар нэгэн байдлаар би юм сурчлах хэрэг байхгүй боломжгүй түрмийн дагуу донет авч болохгүй тийм байдгаа. За эн чин Агийн лонгоор шууд түшилцсэн юм байх шүү дээ тавуулаа. Бэ дээр хүний охирлгүйгээр сайтыг эслэ бомб тавих боломж бүрдэж байгаа. За энэ 6-4 болох нь бол нэг 90% та 99% та гэж буруудахгүй да. Мэдээрээ 5 тоглогч тавуулаа. За Мосия тэр донат дээр явж байгаа та Кабиг бариад авсан. За нэг АК болоод авсан да. Буцаад ааруугаа мэдрүүгээ нэг тоглогч донатаараа Мосия руу Жэмэн гакавад мөн агилонгоор аруугаа сэвлэхээр явж
It's the right
байгаа.
call to make here. It's now just protect the president, right? Jam Young's found himself an AK and it wants to bring it into the next. So
Yeah. We're
that's
very
cool.
much in a save meta at the moment, which is I don't
За
particularly enjoy.
ATOX-ийн бүрэлдэхүүнд бол одоо
You know,
KB байна,
save rounds
Dobo
for
байна,
revive,
одоо
you can watch someone sort of cower
Mongolian
and
Duo
and
тийм ээ.
pray
Одоо
for
бидний сайн
2
мэдгээр бол
minutes.
Mongolian
But
Duo
it
маань
is
байна.
definitely the right call to make,
За
like
тэгээд
you said,
MIQ
protect the
Coolest
president.
Yami.
And he will be allowed to keep
Coolest
hold of this AK as well. So often we
Кабал
see them
Dobo
taking
3 ч одоо
AK
өмнө
and
нэг
passing
багт
pass over to
Tiger-т
teammate,
цуг
but
байсан
AK will remain
санагдаад
firmly
байна.
in Jam Young's
Tiger
back
үлээ Renewal үлээ
It's
байсан.
interesting because from like a viewer perspective, yeah, saves are super boring. But with the tease of a potential MR13 system in CS2, that will definitely change the way that the games are played in terms of saves. There's just less rounds, right? Therefore, you just can't always justify
За
saves.
мид дээр бүр нэлээд урагшаа пүшлээ ороод ирсэн. За MIQ-гийн флашнд
Does actually take
Каби
out
орсон юм байна. Гэхдээ Жамингийг бол унгаасан. 4-4 Мосой 30-аа HP-т явсан байна.
as well. So a duel that definitely favors ATOX. Thins out those defenses as well. Now a 2-2 setup. It feels like ATOX still leaning over towards B here, but they've got plenty of time to make their minds up, to back off
And look at them.
elsewhere. Cyclone have made a gamble call and it's the wrong one. Oh, this round's out of the window already.
It is indeed. Ancient, definitely a map of retake, so if they wanted to go for it, the potential is still there. But look, I think they've sort of smelt that something's amiss here, and they have started moving people back over to B. It's whether they can get them there.
ATOX ерөнхий Б рүүгээ бол орохоор болж байгаа. Б дээр ганцхан тоглож байгаа нь Mercury. За Б-гийн нарийнаар араас нь ороод ирлээ. За гэхдээ өрөөнд бол Yami байгаа.
Unable to deny that plant, but they're
За
definitely
Б-гийн нарийнд 2 тоглогч байна. City-гээс Mercury гарч ирсэн Dobo-гийн pop flash-н дээр MIQ унгаасан. 4-9-2. За Mosea Casa ирч одоо тэгээ сейвлэх байлгүй дээ. 7-4 боллоо.
Retake over as soon as it started there. The moment we said, you know, it's on, ATOX turned around. Absolutely nothing going to be allowed here as well. Brilliant. ATOX taking a little bit of a lead here, a little bit more of a comfortable position here. 1 round away from winning the half at the very least.
I really don't understand why Cyclone would down to the weapons that they were on here. Now, obviously, like a couple of players going down to the masses to have that extra util, but we saw an MP9 in play. We saw Mercury with $3,400 left.
За 7-4 болсон.
It was like, yeah.
За Cyclone-дэс бол баа хийхээс өөр аргагүй багтааж 2 буутай. Force-лоод Jam Angle буу гаргаж өгөөд ямар ч full bite-а гарах бах.
I don't know. It just felt like they didn't have enough firepower there. All of their 1-for-1 gunfights felt lackluster. They felt like in the FAMASs, the MP9s weren't enough against the AK-47s. Jam Young, has he got a gun somewhere, or is he just rocking this USP?
I think he's
Either
just
way.
rocking the USP.
Oh, wow.
You can tell it's dire when one of your star players is forced onto the pistol. Oh, caught on the reload there is Advent. That's unfortunate. Gotta say that's...
За маш хурдан контактуудын дүүсэн. Copy Mercury-г унгааж байгаа. 3-9-3 Jam Young USP-т яваад байгаа да. За Б-гийн бүдүүнлүү 2 тоглож ороод ирлээ. Jam Young USP-тэй.
Well, a 3-on-3. Jam Young still got himself a USP though. He hasn't found a gun.
За Yami Kazag бол унгаасаа Jam Young USP-тэй тоглож тэр Coolest-ийг барьж авлаа да. 1-1. Jam Young гэхдээ USP-тэй. За тэгтээ Б-гийн тэр бүдүүнээс боолоод авах бах. Copy за 8 HP-тэй. За киттэй байна. 7-5 Jam Young нэлээд мэйчлээ дээ. USP-тэй бараг 2 тоглогч унгаагаад. Нийт 3 киллтийн раундыг дуусгаж байгаа юм байна. Jam Young-ийн импакт нэлээд өндөр байлаа да.
And the scoreline closes up a little bit. ATOX unable to run away with things just yet.
Not just yet. Now, when we were talking about that pistol, you know, none of those kills that he got there initially, none of the first 2 kills were with anything but the pistol there. So that was an absolutely insane round, showing why he is the star player.
За манай багаас бол хангалттай бай бол гарна уу. Дараагийн раунд ч байлна. Ямар ч асуудалгүй. Энэхүү раундыг алдлаа гэж бодох шүү дээ. За энэ pop flash-н тэр MQ-ийн flash-н өөртөө л ороод байна да. Copy-г маань аваа явчлаа.
Big opening, but No support
За
from
энэ
Cave. Dobbo
Пүү,
trades it.
Мосегийн флашн дээр Меркури гарч ирээд Яамын кулс дээр унгасан допо трейдинг хийсэн. За мид дээр энд контакт үүсэж байгаа. За шууд гүйц адвент.
What are you doing, Advent?
За.
Oh no.
Стон амиа орсон юм ийлээ дэ хөрхи адвентч. За Каса бүр биг араас орж ирэх юм байна. За манай хоёр ихтэй бомб ичид арагшаагаас харах байлгүй дээ ч та. Каса оптой.
And now it is just Kaze on that AWP. Not really the ideal weapon for this situation, but they have the chance to close it out here. Ooh.
Замс мэдээллийг л авсаа. Аката Каса. Зэрэг атомчтаас хэцүү баг шүү дээ. MIQ дабл кил оруулж ирсэн 8 та боллоо. Ямар ч ихний хасыг тэргүүлж дуусгах нь бол ойлгомжтой болж байна.
They got off to such a good start. Now, obviously, Jamyoung sort of overstays his welcome in lower mid. When he finds that opening pick, there's no reason for him to be sticking around unless they've got a smoke.
За тэгээ Монгол Linevision-ийн тоглолтыг үзэх үсэх юм бол мэдээж YouTube дээр мета буюу K хийж байлаа. За би зөвхөн community cast хийж байна. Ямар нэгэн реклам сурчлагаагүйгээр донетгүйгээр сайн дурын cast гэсэн үг шүү дээ.
Cheeky bit of team damage at the start there as well. Cool, it's taking a knife to the back.
За Jamyoung-ийн Fort гараад ирж байгаа юм байна. За нэг 57, нэг P250, нэг D гэл. За 2 P250 байна та. Eco round байгаа.
It would have a little more weight to it, but the reality is
За наа дээр л дүр тавуулаад бараг шуулчлаа. Энэ хооронд нь Ямигийн лөркний тоглолт нилээ инфо аавна. Бомб юу буцтай шиг хадсаа. Ямигийн лөрк бол сайн инфо авлаа. Бэг үл илсээд бас Мосиарын тайгуу кулстэй таарчлаа та. За тэр мэдээр бас таарах гэдэг. Капи унгаас адвентиг өрөөгөр нэг тоглогч Ями уулаа. Капи T дээр өвсөн нэг тоглогчийг л унгаасан. Дахиад нэг тоглогч байгаа даа Капигийн дабл кил. Допо эчнэн кил замаас арай төсөөлөг юм байна Капи. Араас нь гараад ирсэн 3-1. За Мосе одоо тэгээд сейв хийвэл үү ч таакаа. Ямар шанс байхгүй. 9 топ болж байна. За мэдээснээс ороод ирсэн митинг нуглаар орсон Мосея. Бууган сейвлүүлээгүй. АК говцоо болоод тавсан. 9-5 боллоо. За ихний ясны сүүлийн раунд. За 15-аар дуусчихвол маш гоё эрэхтэй байна да. За тэгээд цаашлаад 2 тгээр Rare-ат нь буюу Cyclone гэж багийг холжчихвол тэгээд. За тэгээд Монгол баг л явчихвал одоо ATOX нь Монгол цэн нь ата хамаалаа та тийм ээ. Аль сайн байгаа л явсан дээр. Би бас Capi Допо хоёрыг бас олон улсын тавцанд бас лангийн тэмцээн дээр бас харахыг бол хүсэж байна. Яг миний өөрийн хувьд ойр тараагүй. За мидийн контакт Capi сонссоо. За тэгтээ Capi-г төсөөлсөн юм байна. Гэхдээ ихний контакт дээр Capi шууд one tap хийгээд унгаасан. 5-4 сүүлийн раунд сэвлэн гэж байхгүй. За тэгсэн чинь араас нь Jamyoung Донатор гараад ирлээ дээ. За, Coolest-ийн Tick 9 3-3 болгож байгаа. Jamyoung нэг акад Ями ямар амар флик шот хийчихвэ. За, City-гээс Jamyoung ороод ирсэн. 2-2. За, яг бууцна гэж яхад нь гоё таймингд ороод ирсэн дээ. Допогийн triple kill орж ирж байгаа юм байна. Ингэснээр 15 ярцаатай. ATOX өөрсдийн пиклсэн Ancient дээр тэргүүлж дуусгалаа. За ихний ас энэхүү дууслаа. За тэгээ энэ хооронд манайхан бас стрим дээр лайка дараагүй хүмүүс байл лайка дараад дэмжээрэй гэж та бүхнээс хүсмээр байна. За тэгээд Азийн бүсийн Asian Qualifier энэхүү тэмцээнд 4 баг За юу шүү манайхаа. Closet Qualifier тийм ээ. Би одоо бас буруу мэдээлэл өгж шүү эндээс. За буруу мэдээлэл биш юм байна. Би одоо өөр юм дээр төрөөд. Одоо ингээд 4 баг хоорондоо ингээд тоглож байна 2-2-ороо. Хоцсон 2 нь, хожигдсон 2 нь 3 цагийн дараа дараагийн тоглолтод 21 цагаас өнөөдөр. За тэгэхээр бид нар 21 цагаас Монгол зуулан ATOX багуудын тоглолтыг үзэх бас боломж байна. Залуусаа. Бас тун сонирхолтой тоглолт бас байх болов гэж бодож байна. Гарах болов гэж бодож байна. За яг одоо цаг мөчидл ер нь Азийн CS:GO-ыг тодорхойлж байгаа 4 баг гэж хэлэхэд бол буруутахгүй дээ. Монголд The X Rare Atom буюу Cyclone, за тэгэл Lean Vision, ATOX. За таялаг хувьд бол дөнгөж шинэ бүрэлдэхүүнтэй тэмцээн уралдаанд ороод явж байгаа. Одоо хамгийн ихний тэмцээн нь бол одоо манай Score одоо таялууд орцсон явж байгаа шүү дээ. За мөн одоо NKT Aircast-ийн баг. За Aircast 0-2 тоглож байгаа. NKT мөн Perfect World-ийн тэмцээнд байгаа. За 9 цагийн тоглолт бол маш сонирхолтой тоглолт байх болов гэж бодож байна. Би бол одоо манай хоёр баг хожоод гараад ирэх байх гэж хараад байна да. Монгол Lean Vision-ыг ATOX яг энэ өндөр имлэлтэй яг ингэж гоё нэгт тоглох юм бол Cyclone-ыг бол одоо хожихгүй гэх л арга алга.
Welcome back everybody. Second half about to commence here.
Хоёрдугаар ас инхүү эхэлж байна. За мэдээж ATOX-ын сонгосон пик учраас хоёрдугаар ас дээр ATOX хамгаална. За мидийн контакт үүсгээд байна уу? За хоёр ч тоглолч. За coolest Kapal Yami нэг килийг оруулж өглөөдөө. Ээлжид килээ coolest оруулж гисэн Jam 25 HP-тэй 22 HP. Хутаг барай дайрчлаа штэ Yami 22 HP-тэй. За майку дуал барайтай. Бүр тигээс нь гарч ирээд гүйцээж байгаа юм байна. За 11-5. За өөрсдийн пиксэн мапа. Маш хурдан дуусах боломж үүсэж байна да. За Cyclone шууд 5 блок гаргаж ирж байгаа маань нэгэн флаштай Б-ийн гүйлд орж ирэхээр боллоо. За манайхаас мэдээрээ 3 тоглогч донат руугаа мэдээж нэг салах юм болоо. За шууд мэдээ контролцсон. За энэ кол маш гоё боллоо доо. Яг л Б рүүгээ нийлж байна. Мэдээсээ 2, Б дээрээ 2 байгаа. За нэстэ блок үлч таас. Шатаа суугаад байгаа юм биш үстэй энэ ч тийм. За double Kapal Yami нэг кил оруулж ирсэн. MIQ double-гийн double kill 12-5 болсон. За Cyclone энэ раундыг авчих юм бол ерөнхийдөө GG гээд хэлчихэд бол болно доо. За эндээс бол ямар ч байсан 3 AK бол харагдаж байгаа. За 3 AK гэжтэй ч тоо. За мөнгөний харъя л та. Энд гэлэл гарна. Энд бас гэлэл. Энд гэлэл. За хэрвээ utility T-классаа тэгээ utility-гүү тоглоно гэхээр ч бас хэцүү л дээ. Би бол галилууд гараад utility-гээ нэлээ авах болов уу гэж бодож байна. Нэг юм уу хоёр AK л гарах байх.
things are definitely getting out of hand, and they've got to make a decision here on whether, despite the fact that they don't have a lot of money, they do try and force the issue and go for a buy here, but then subsequently take the risk that if they end up losing the round, then they'll most likely give ATOX a full team, or they drop down to the eco, they have full investment in the follow-up, but yeah, then they're cutting things pretty fine. Now, they go for the buy here. It's the right call to make. When you look at ATOX's buy-up right here, it's 2 MP9s, an M4, and 2 for Massive.
За хоёр гэлээ 3 AK гарч ирсэн. Utility бол тааруу гарч ирж байгаа. Аа уучлаарай. Utility бол тааруу гарч ирж байгаа юм байна уу?
Can't help but feel this map's pretty much over. Spams through. Not connecting just yet. Cyclone playing this one a little bit slower. In fact, playing this round much slower than we've seen their T side so far.
Absolutely. They are willing to just sit back, wait for somebody else to make the mistake first. Of course, Yami pushing up really far here. A little bit of spam to give away.
Манайхаас бол 2 фамаас 2 MP9.
Making sure that nobody's pushing up.
Нэг M4.
Control, keeping that information as well under their thumb.
За pop flash-ыг гараад ирсэндээ Каса Меркурийн нэг килийг хийчлээ дээ.
Opens up the round a little bit. This is what we wanted to see. We said, you know, the weapon advantage really coming into this as well.
Яг түрүүнийхтэй адилхан pop flash-ыг Big-ийн нарийнаараа пикэлсэн.
It certainly does open up the door of opportunity. Bit of a gamble stack here for ATOX. Doesn't quite pay off just yet, but there's contacts made in mid. They are going to start to push through and actually try and get a bit of a fast flank going. Good damage dealt through that smoke. Massive from Yami. And they're going to throw themselves at this. They've kind of got nothing to lose. They're playing a bonus round, so other than the M4, they're happy to drop this for Massive P9. The issue is things are...
За Yami ганцаар үлдсэн 5-1.
Yami, well, we'll take one, but that is all she wrote.
12-6 болж байна.
Back off. It'll be 12-6. An uphill climb for Cyclone, but at least
it's a start.
Managed to climb up onto the first step.
Absolutely. Now, 6 rounds in a row to get back to even here. Or 6 rounds just generally to get back to even, of course. Not ideal, as we said. We'll pick up that... we'll switch over the weapon there, will Advent. Upgrades for everyone, which will give them the ability to sort of have...
Дараагийн раунд бол манайх бол бай гарчгаар юм байна өө.
Full AKs or full rifles per se.
Force slot.
So it will be interesting. They should be able to sort of have the firepower.
Ер нь бай гарах юм байна.
Money, okay. They really need to win this round though, or it will start looking shaky for them again. We saw that sort of economy was a massive...
За нэг MP9, 2 M4, 2 FAMAS-тэй round.
ATOX desperately trying to avoid sort of the pitfalls that they fell into.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this will be obviously the first round on the T side. We'll see Cyclone with the full configuration of premium rifles. But yeah, you're right. They didn't have very many rounds at all in the game as a whole, where they've been able to have a full buy without contingencies. That CT economy is always a little bit harder to manage, and they struggled. They struggled to manage it. Buy up here for the CT side, but far from perfect. Still feels like what we saw in the last two for
Double Big site-нар хамгаалж байгаа. Yami мэдээ. Ерөнхий default хамгаалтыг авч байгаа да. За Capi coolest Donatтай байгаад байгаа. За bomb бол ерөнхий B тал руугаа авах төлөвтэй л харагдаад байна.
So far they've been super conservative with it.
They are. There's not much to work with, so they have to be quite conservative here. We see a little bit popped out here as well. Getting ready for the execute. That also going to put a little bit of a spanner in the works there as well. Hold them off a little bit. And it looks like they're going to...
Занчис ч R-уугаал rotate болох гээд байна уу да. 40 секундын хугацаа үлдэж байгаа. За ер нь мэдээрээ R-уугаал орох юм байна да. За бас моолыгоо шидэд торгоогоо дамжсан. За дахиад нэг мод байт юм байна. За Capi open frag хийсэндээ coolest trading орж 3-3 боллоо. За Template-с double байна да. 2-1 үлдсэн Mercury. Бомб нэг урд нуусан. За сэвлгээс аргагүй болсоо. Яг бомб урд нүднэр нутсан. За хитэж та үзэх гэдэг юм биш үү? За арай ачгүй дээ бас энэ ч тоо. 13-6.
And it's perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. I love that in Dona. Normally the 1-for-1s benefit the T side, but when you've got an MP9 trading 1-for-1 with an AK and a FAMAS doing the same, yeah, you've always got the advantage there. And ATOX, they snowball off of it. It's perfect.
They do indeed. We still see that FAMAS coming out, of course. No reason to throw it away, put it to good use as well. But 13 on the board.
3 FAMAS 2 AK-тай раунд. Мосё бүр дөө. Ямар ч utility авахгүй. Mercury муу utility байхгүй. За тэгээ энэ раундыг ер нь Cyclone алдах юм бол нийлээ өгөгдөж байгаа.
Trying to peek in and get a little bit of early info. Big commitment on the buy here for Cyclone. This would be a huge round to win, and Mercury on his entries. Oh, he's had a couple of rounds that he's just taken matters into his own hands, and this is certainly one of them.
Absolutely, Mercury spearheading this as well.
За Big-ээс л bomb тавьчих байгаа юм байна.
They want nothing more to do with this. They back right off. No interest in going for a retake. So Cyclone back in the picture.
Absolutely.
Тэгээд
Still not ideal, but
3 бого хадгалаад үлдсэн л дээр хаа та.
Bringing this potentially to overtime, I can see if they can get a couple more on the board. ATOX, it cannot be overstated how far ahead they are.
Quality яагаад юм байгаа юм бэ гэж юу? Энэ 720 дээр яваад байгаа юм. 1080 болохоор би одоо энэ Twitch-ийн стримийг л дүрсийг л автчаад байгаа юм л та. Twitch ч 1080 дээр манай Монгол интернет амжтгүй шүү дээ хөрх юмтай. Twitch 1080-ыг.
Also not going to be great subsequently.
Дагуу микша бро гэнэ.
It is like that 1400 1500 really not.
Миний микш уг нь Razer-ийн микш
You
дээ.
said, you know, CT economy very difficult to manage, as you said. I think it's just blatantly punishing sometimes. You know, you
Микийг
lose
яагаад
one
байгаа лээ?
misplaced round and it's all downhill and broken.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But with a couple of players on double eco around those saved rifles, there's no real choice.
Таанахаас ч Force Buy гаргаад ирж байгаа юм байна.
I love it.
Cappy Mac-тай
I love the shotguns.
Mac 7. За Cappy-гийн Mac 7 ч бас амар шүү дээ. Mike Open Frag-ийн Mercury дээр оруулж ирсэн Big Ramp дээр унж байгаа Mercury. За Cappy-гийн Mac 7 л хармаар байна да.
They certainly will. Up against a weak buyer like this, the last thing you want.
Аги Long-ийн boost-н дээр гарцсан байгаа даа юм байна. Cappy. The Yami яг доорно.
Worried here about Cabal on the Max 7 because he is on the wrong site here and trying to come back in and retake with that shotgun. Really not ideal. To be nice about it, it's so far from ideal as to be untrue.
За би дээр нэлээд торгоо очих юм бол за тэртээ доорох юм болоо да. Ер нь бол би талдаа байсаар байна.
5 seconds and slow stuff here for Cyclone once again.
Мэдээ утсан. За би рүүгээ л орох төлөвтэй л бол авчлаа шүү.
Rather fine. Smoke in. No offensive util here for the CT side. So they're using their smokes to sort of keep their opponents at an arm's length. But
Тэртээ орохгүй л гэж үзэх гээд байгаа юм байна.
is it going to send them elsewhere? Bomb yet to
Би рүүгээ л орох гэдэг шүү.
this B execution, and there's 3 defenders, soon to be 4. They're so ready for this.
They are. They need to get that bomb on. They need to get a couple of kills really early on here.
За биг бүдүүн бол нарийныг smoke гэсэн касэ 4-9-4 Допоо энэ гарч ирээд advantage boost гарч ирээд унагаасан 4-9-3 болж байгаа. Cappy араас нь өрөөгөөр ороод ирэх боломжтой байна. Масаа Jam-ыг нэг хилэг оруулж ирсэн. Cappy ганцаар үлдчихлээ. Яа, за Max 7 байсангүй 13-8.
Round out of a hat there. That was
Unexpected.
quite impressive.
I absolutely love to see that. That was played beautifully. I got a little bit scared by how close they were cutting it as well. But those last minute executes, of course, something that, you know, X-Ray Atom was really known for.
Хавраамдын зөрүүтэй болж байгаа. За одоо ATOX-оос
But ATOX forced back onto pistols.
full buy round оруулж ирсэн. 5 USB-тэй.
So this is going to be an interesting round. They've also opted not to gamble factor as well to spread out.
За Jam-ыг 16 HP-тэй болгосон дог энэ дээр. Boost.
Okay, well, good damage, considering it's just
Yeah.
the USPs. Jamyo. Tagged right down low. They are going to start to regroup and hit towards A. They've realised this is a full eco and there's no need to be taking individual gunfights. They can play this one as a unit.
За Агийн эзэлгэн дээр явж байгаа.
Indeed. First player will fall.
Каби ганцаараа ад дээр байсан. Тэгээ манайхаас ч юм бол одоо арморч байхгүй, utility ч байхгүй, одоо нүүн нүцгэн 5 USP. Энд ч тэгээд бас exit frag хийх ч юм уу тийм try хийвэл угнаас. Алдах юм байхгүй юм чи. Яг алдах юм байгаа л да. Айлта $300 бэлгэлнэ.
They don't really want to go for this. They don't have the weaponry. No kits as well, so it's already too close to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to be feeding their opponents. Obviously, they've got nothing
not.
to lose here, but you still get a couple $100 for every kill. So, yeah.
За майку Jamyangi. Тэн стака худас хэцүү л байна да. Араас нь ороод ирсэн.
There's no way.
Coolest Advent-ыг унгаас Mercury мөн бомбонд дэлбэрээд унсан. 3 тоглогч нь унсан да.
That's absolutely huge.
63
Found the bomb, helped him out a little bit there, but that's perfect.
Bomb took out 2. The bomb does not discriminate between CT and T, of course. So that's really good damage done, of course. We can see Coolest.
За Coolest op'той 2 M4 2 FAMAS-тай round.
Firepower they need, of course. They've been struggling a little bit in this CT half. Hopefully this is
За энэ раундыг авахгүй бол хамгийн гол нь Cyclone Monopute хийсэн доо. Jamyangi Cabi бариад авсаа. Advent яами дээр зүрүүлээд тэрэд kill оруулж ирсэн.
On to the A site, Cabal didn't seem ready to take that gun.
Capping a double kill.
Surprise, but still manages to come out on top. So man advantage leaning in their favour. Flick is beautiful, but only hits the leg of Coolest.
За Coolest яг барьжсэн газар кайса гараад ирсэндээ double bomb тавьж байсан. Advent-ийг унгаасан. Mosia 43 HP-тэй Coolest-ийн double kill орж ирсэн. ATOX явахгүйсэн раунд нэгээрээ болж 14 дахь раунд авсаа 14-9.
Absolutely. We are one round away from.
За Cyclone асуудалгүй баа инэ энэ дээр.
That's a really dangerous position to be in as well, because suddenly you have no contingency rounds, you have nothing to play with, and you have to put you got to put the pedal to the metal every single round until the game is over at that point, which can be very scary for very high intensity as well. So desperately going to be trying to keep ATOX away from match point here. Nade to the face there. Consumed that grenade.
Ooh, okay, good early damage onto Kaze as well. This is such a big round for ATOX. This would be such a big map for them to pick up as well, having the advantage in the series.
Definitely would help.
Confidence boost. You can see the shadows, but they peek a little wider than expected. And the trade's there for the ball before.
And not only that, kills going back and forth, giving them the man advantage as well. This is looking really good for ATOX here. Health low on the side of Cyclone.
За Beg бол амжилттай хамгаалж байна. Өрөөнд Mosia ороод ирсэн байгаа та. Каса мөн өрөөгөр Ями эргээд нэг харахгүй болно ч та сайт нь ч өөр тоглож ороод ирлээ шүү дээ. Өрөөрөө яваарцаа. За агасаа Cabi retake хийж орж ирнэ. Mosia 43 HP-тэй. Суманд дуусц яа заста Mosia ч баллах ашиглаа шүү дээ. 15-9 боллоо. Cabi Оп олж авсан. За ингээд map point-ыг ATOX өөрийн болголоо.
Money is in a sticky situation as well. Not really ideal going into this really sort of uphill battle here. Galil's all round. Couple of smokes, couple of flashes as well.
За тэ Cyclone Force by round 5 гэлил гарч ирсэн Ямиг болоор нийлж хагаад Jamang-ыг унгаасан. За Jamang 22 киллтэй явж байсан. Cappy Advent-ийг нээдлээ. За ерөнхийдөө GG болох ч байгаа юм болов гэсэн. За нөгөө үрж гуруулаа бэрүүгүй. Гүүг ороод ирлээ дээ. Emaiku 5-2 болгосон. Допо Мосия ганцаараа үлдсэн байгаа даа энэ. За ингэснээр гэсэн ч одоо кино ичхүтэй. За байсангүй 16 9 харьцаатай ATOX ихний буюу өөрсдийнхөө пиклсэн map дээр хойчлыг авч байна. За одоо ингэж за Cyclone буюу Rare Atom-ийн пиклсэн Overpass дээр тун удахгүй хоёр дахь map тоолох болно. За тэгээ мэдээч нөгөө талд Монгол Linevision багуудын хойдсонтой Cyclone ATOX багуудын хойдсон Upper Bracket-ийн semi-final тоглох юм байнамаа. Нэр нэг юм үсгэд лайк дараагүй хүмүүс нь лайк дараад дэмжиж өгөөрэй. Баярлалаа та бүхэнд.
Hello, 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 and welcome back, lovely people. We are here for map number 2 of course, the Asian IEM Sydney qualifiers.
Yeah, and we just had a bit of an upset in the first one. And I say upset, and I say it with sort of quotation marks, I guess, because it was ATOX's map pick. So if there was any map that they were going to be taking in this series, it certainly was going to be Ancient. But they took it in a very convincing fashion. They looked like the much better team through and through. They were in control. They had a massive lead. And the scoreline actually ended up coming a little bit closer than it really could have been. It was 12-5 at one point. And yeah, they sort of edged over the finish line towards the end. Cyclone sort of taken a few rounds here and there. But yeah, ultimately was very, very convincing. It didn't really feel like Cyclone were in control of that map at any point at all. So if they can carry that momentum across and actually go into this second map with their heads held high, with the confidence that comes from demolishing your opponent that are the hot favourites to be winning this game in such a convincing fashion, then I really do think that there is a chance they could pull Overpass their way. And especially when you consider the fact that Overpass is a bit of a wildcard pick. It is one that Cyclone don't really play. There's always an opportunity that ATOX could pull off something a little magical here. We'll see.
Absolutely, and I'm really excited to see because we don't get to see Overpass very often. Now, looking at it, it's definitely one of the most sided maps, per se.
Yes.
Now, do we see this having too much of an impact? Of course it will. But how do you see that playing out with, of course, ATOX starting on arguably the more favourable side here?
So Overpass is statistically the second most CT-sided map in the pool, and it's only very, very narrowly behind Nuke. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Having that opportunity to start off on your CT side could definitely have an impact. It doesn't mean that it absolutely will, but yeah, this is why it's always for me a little bit of a worry when you go into a series and there is a Nuke pick or an Overpass
or both.
pick. It's always quite bold, right? If you're a team that pick into Nuke, you've got some serious balls, right? Because the reality is picking into a Nuke, knowing that you're going to have to start on your T side, especially in a second map of a series where you're playing your opponent's pick first, just somewhat expecting to go into map 2, a map down, and having to play T side Nuke, right? Which is kind of my idea of hell. So yeah, it takes a lot of confidence, and yeah, this Overpass pick definitely sort of comes into that. I'm really not too sure how well we're going to see ATOX play on Overpass. I'm really not sure how well versed their CT side is really going to be. The 2 times they have played it, they have preferred their defense, and they've been pretty good on it. But yeah, it's really a bit of an unknown for us. So it's just going to be however they turn up, right? They were hitting their shots. They mechanically were absolutely there on Ancient. So even if Overpass isn't really their forte, I think that they're still going to be going into it with their heads held high.
Absolutely, and we've seen the orbs, absolutely huge damage there as well, absolutely massive impact, which of course, on a map like Overpass, it's an AWPer's playground, per se, pun semi-intended there. So I think it'll be really interesting to see sort of how absolutely nuclear these players go.
They certainly could, yeah. I mean, we saw really just moments of brilliance from certain individuals. Kaze absolutely had his moments with that AWP early on, though, and I kind of want to put a bit of stress on this because it really did feel like he was absent until he had an AWP. Then he picked up an AWP on round 4 or 5, got himself a multi-kill, then got himself a multi-kill in the following round, and you're like, wow, okay, he's come to life now. He's got himself an AWP, he's finding all of these frags, he's having massive impact, and then he went quiet for a bit. And as an AWPer, you can't really do that, especially on a map like Ancient, and especially on a map like Overpass. You can't really afford to just disappear for a few rounds, and you also can't really afford to not have any impact unless you've got that AWP. So, yeah, definitely some things that need to be worked on there. Yami, though, with that sniper for ATOX was fantastic and living up to his big ratings as well. Without further ado, though, we will be jumping in to our second map of this series. It's Overpass, and it's going to be ATOX starting off on their CT side. Kaiser with a fair bit of U-tilt, and it'll be interesting.
Зарган тавтаа морилгоо. ATOX болон Cyclone багуудын тоглолтын 2 дахь map Cyclone-ы пиклсэн Overpass дээр инхүү эхэлж байна. За мэдээж Cyclone Mapa гэсэн учраас ATOX-ыг City-гээс тоглолтыг эхлүүлнэ. Допу дээр Mercury Open frag-ыг оруулж гисэн. За тэр short дээр boost гарах нь дээ. За ямар ч байсан. Унсангүй. За коннектороо ороо цааш явж байгааг нь хаарцсан. Аагийн шууд манахаас retake орж ирж байгаа. Ями араас нь замаасаа яг барьцсан да. За тэнгуүдэ буцааг үүчих гээд байна уу юу? За coolest. Mercury барьцсан. Яг нуруу гаруулаад загсчлаа да нэг рүүгээ. Каса бомбтой. За 5-2 болсон. MIQ Kapal 2.
Left in what seems like an impossible situation and CYCLONE still taking no chances. They even throw the smoke over towards the dumpster. A little bit of pressure here from Mercury, but
За гэхдээ нэг л тийм mute байна те, нэг тийм delayтэй байгаа даа те. Sound дүрснэ. Цаанаасаа. За Capigovd armor save-лэх тоглолт оруулж өгч байгаа. За байсангүй. За эхний раундыг CYCLONE авч байна. За тэгээ зовлонгүй л дараагийн шатанда шалгарчмаар байгаа юм да.
Yeah, this is a big call to make. Whether or not they go for a buy here, it looks like they will. So Yami buying into the desert. He got another mag 7.
I love this. I love Cabal on the mag 7. It's not something you see every day. And I think that's
За шо force buy гарч ирсэн 4 дийгэл Happy mag 7 те. За Cabbage то mag 7-гийн master хүн шүү дээ.
Catches us off guard, catches their opponents off guard, and
Peter авч байгаа. Gabi.
Last map didn't quite have the outcome that they were hoping for.
Not quite, but it is set up in a good position here. Fortunately, it doesn't look like anyone is wanting to peek into it though.
He's got plenty of time.
Yep.
Bombs still left back towards the T spawn as well, exactly. So they could definitely regroup and try and aggress into him. He is on an exploration though. Look how much ground he's taken. Right up short.
Gabi, за коннекторын
Bit of a lengthy duel to be taken if anyone does come.
хоёрыг унгаа боломжтой доо. Зарц нэг нь бол унгаасан. Mercury-г бариад авсан 4-9-4. За энэ ч бол ямар ч сан Force Fire хийсэн гэдэг info бол авчиж байгаа бах CYCLONE. За тэгэхээр бол за нэлээд нефтлүүцэх үзэж таарах болов. За баг гонон дөрөж гуруулын хин харчвуу да дообо.
You can see the rotates coming in off of that information.
Yeah, especially with the timer as low as it is. There's 30 seconds on this clock, and with CYCLONE having no end control whatsoever. Yeah, Mix just confirmed this.
Майко ээж нэг юм фаулт хийсэ дообо. Мосэг унгаас coolest one tap cassette дээр орж ирсэн. 4-9-2 болсон. Майко Джейми газар үлдчихлээ. За цаг байхгүй нэг болж байна. За 2 галил олоод авсан бүр ямар гоё раунд авчив та. Оо 28 хийж битээ. За CYCLONE одоо ингээ мөнгө байхгүй одоо зөрөөд форслах юм болоо да. Jamiang service учраас мөнгө орж ирэхгүй. Лос бонус байхгүй.
Yeah, I don't know if he quite did it all, but it was definitely the catalyst and a bit of a confidence booster.
За Force Fire-ыг гараад ирж байгаа юм байна. Нэг PR-тэй 2 дийгэл нэг Tik9, Jamiang service галилтайгаа. За манайхаас бол 2 галил болоод авсан. MIQ Mag 7-тэй. За энэ раундыг хохирол багтаа авчих юм бол бүр гоё болно доо. Дахиад нэг тулж гараад ирсэн Garden-луу тулж байгаа. Yamiтай. Capi Jam-ыг барьж Capi-гийн double kill connector орж 2 дэх шунаас Mosia Capi-г мид дээр дарчж байгаа. 4-1. Зан хэмэлтүүч ирэх шаардлагатай. Эмайко суулаацаа. За Эмайко Max 7-д дууссан. За одоо Cyclone-оос Eco round орж ирж байгаа. За энэ раундаа хүний хохирлгүй бас авчих хэрэгтэй байна. Тэгэх юм бол мөнгөний хувьд бол нэлээд айтайхан болоод ирнэ.
It is. The shots have been clean and they've been pieced together a lot more. You can tell that sort of the communication is just a lot better and they're working better as a team.
За connector 3 ороод ирлээ. Шууд jamming мэдээрээ дайрсан. Connector-ын 3 тоглогч. Coolest-ийн triple kill. Ямар гоё sprayд тийм бэ. За Yami. За Mosia Coolest-ийг трейдлсэн 3-1-ээр солисон юм байна. 4-1. Галилтай.
Would start to well, if he was in my team I'd be saying he's baiting, even if he isn't. It's just always a bit too much of a coincidence when you got a teammate last alive every round.
За Capi араас нь гарч ирээд унгасан 3-1 болж байгаа. За одоо Cyclone-оос бол full buy round орж ирж байгаа. Болоо гэж бодож байна.
So upgrades all round and of course as we said Orpa's playground this map.
Yeah. Gives him some extra cash.
За тэгэхээр дүрсний чанар 720 P байгаад бас уучлаарай. Яалч байхгүй. Интернет шаардлага анхахгүй байгаа учраас 1080-аар бас гаргаж чадахгүй байна. За допоамс трейдинг нь оруулсан. Mosia ямар reaction үзүүлч вэ? 4-4 болсон. Coolest long-ийн аптай. За шууд лонгоор пушилчж байгаа юм байна. За энэ дээр контакт үүсэх боломжтой доо. Advent long руу пиклэх гээд байна. За энэ хооронд нь тойлд дээр 3 тоглогч урагшлаа. Дахиад нэг тоглогч тойлд дээр орж боломжтой. Сая энийг Coolest харсан байх гэж бодоод байна. Coolest double. Урд тоглогчийг харсан уу? За Yami-гийн гоё reaction. Kasa ганцаар үлдсэн. Headshot. Capi араас нь гараад ирсэн. Дуусгасан. 4-1. За маш гоё явж шүү. За одоо тэгээ гарпууны round Cyclone-с орж ирж байгаа. За энэ дээр force-лахгүй баха. Энэ дээр force-л бол одоо тэгэл нүд хураа шүү те.
Shows that they're just coming into their element here. They've been doing their homework.
За 5 клоо гарах. За Cyclone тактика тайм авт орж ирж байгаа юм байна. X rare atom. За одоо rare atom чи хэсэг Монгол багт ч дээ бархаа байсан шүү дээ.
Interesting to sort of touch upon these pauses, right? Because we didn't see either one of these teams use a single pause in the first half of Ancient.
Oh no, oh not in the first half, no sorry.
Yeah.
За ихтэй 2000-ыг үлдээгээд баялах болов уу гэж бодож байна.
Cyclone then called a pause. And it felt like a little early on in the second half, but I liked it. Like you got 4 to use, so why not, right? It's never really too early in a situation like that. But yeah, calling them much earlier here in this game because things are getting out of hand earlier. It felt quite back and forth at the start of Ancient, and then it started to lean ATOX's way towards the end of the first.
2000-ыг үлдээгээд баясаа. 5 гар буу. 4 тоглогч бэрэг орж ирж байгаа. Connector-т Advent яваад байгаа. За ерөнхий тавуулаа байдалтай гэж хэлж болно. За Advent Connector. Capital. Capital. Yami-тэй контакт үүссэн. За Connector-оор буцаад өөрийнхөө дэше гарах гэдэг байна.
Don't lose these guns. Don't give them to your opponents. Keep them down in the mud.
Absolutely, and that's why we can see it. A little bit of a quieter round as well. Nobody really wanting to make the first mistake here. And it will be Yami called upon to make first contact here. Needs multiple. Gets away with just one with their life. Going back for more though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, you said he needs multiple in my head.
Mercury Yamig унгацаа. Заагийн шортоор дөрүүлээ өрөөд ирсэн. Mercury AK олоод авлаа.
Fancies a bit of stat padding and gets punished in the process. Tech9 overwhelms him. And a 4v4, but Dobu jump spotting. If he does it again, he'll see them coming out of connector instead. Reels it in a little bit. Throws a molly.
It being so quiet over on the A side though, that will be information in and of itself that nobody's home.
Dances around the pillar, confirms that
За шортоор бүгдээр орж ирэхээр болсоо. Ганцаараа үлдсэн. Double kill, Imaiku double kill оруулж ирсэн. 5-1 болж байгаа. За CYCLONE full buy round. Бодоо орж ирнэ.
So 5-1, ATOX really good start here. A couple of players actually hitting double digits pre-buy in this round, but after the reinvestments, that's no longer the case. AK is on everyone here for CYCLONE. No opportunity for an AWP to go into anyone's hands. So yeah, it is going to be just a rifle round. We'll see what they can do with it. On the other side of things, 2 orbs.
That Molotov is good. Will force Coolest off the angle as well and back up connector.
Coolest connector руугаа. Aggressive доошлоод. Моолын дээр буцаад.
Just asserting dominance.
Certainly are. Look at the control they've taken again.
За Mercury шууд монстроор гүг. Монстр 2 тоглож ороод ирсэн байгаа даа.
We'll open up the door a little bit here on the B side. Retake on its way. With no short presence at all, it really does feel like Dobu's position just.
За эдэн талаас мол идэл байна.
Absolutely. You can see them all crowding around here. Smoke is good and will stop any sort of line of sight here.
Double up there.
Just a little bit. 2 orbs though in the situation, not ideal.
Yeah, they're gonna save here.
They are just too expensive.
Save хэмээн маань да. Тэг капиг ABC-гээс гаргах гал тийш smoke хийж байгаа юм. Яа, цаастаа. Онхын даван дээр зүгтаалаад. За 5-2 болж байгаа.
Yeah, I mean a bit of a shame to be giving that one up, but double sniper setup, it's very subjective. Very situational.
Absolutely. Interesting to see that they don't get the round after the timeout, but the round after that, I think is quite interesting. Which sort of implies to me that maybe it was sort of long-term plans, not just necessarily the round ahead that they were talking about. But it's good to see them finally getting around, not letting ATOX get too much on the board here in a row, which of course is sort of the aim of the game, is trying to build rounds upon each other consecutively.
You do often see teams, they'll call, and there's kind of multiple reasons for this that I don't really have time to get into, but a lot of the time you will see teams call a pause just before their eco round for them to discuss the buy round. So obviously the round prior to that one, those pistols. Yeah, it is long-term plans, and yeah, there's several reasons for why teams do this. But maybe we have some double orb still in play though for the CT side. But as you said before, it's something that really plagued them in the last. So yeah, they need to make sure they hit their shots before the site is lost. The second they're in a retake situation, there's not a lot they can do about it.
Now this quiet round has got ATOX a little bit paranoid here as well. Ooh, not for long though. That is the kill they need to take them back.
5-4. За ерхий хагийн бэгийн тоглолт орох гээд байна. Да. Mercury 25 HP-тэй болсон. Kasa мөн 39 HP-тэй болсон.
And it's the first domino that causes a huge ripple effect. Dobu has to try and recover this, but he's now been spotted. There's no way he gets
Yami.
Needs Yami's support, and he'll receive it.
За Yami таагалцсан да Kasa.
The box actually does the damage. 12 HP. This becomes doable. Get your pistol out, my friend. They're only one shot away from death. But as he starts to press up,
Улаан болцоо. 5-3 болж байна.
the job, and Cyclone do put themselves back in the picture and close this gap up. 5-3. They will still be up against another buy. The CT economy's still thriving. But
Timeout called.
tactical pause first, yeah.
Isn't this, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the first
ATOX tactical timeout хэлж байгаа юм байна.
Yes, yeah, throughout the whole series, yeah.
So
Bio
it's interesting
байгаа.
to see that they've called it now. Why do you
Cappy.
think they called it sort of now?
И
They've
Micro
already had
бол нэг
reasons
буу
for the
гаргаад
first
өгчин.
map. They sort of had it very under control. What do you think they're talking about in this one then?
Where they're losing the B control. And I can tell you, it's just over aggression, right? They've got a little too comfortable with Cyclone playing a very passive default, and therefore ATOX in many of these rounds have just, without contention, been able to take that short control. Then Cyclone have realized this and they've said, we've been giving up too much map control. Let's try and take early short, which is what they've been doing. And ATOX have been caught out a couple of times now where they've tried to walk through smokes or where they've tried to just get a little too exploratory. So yeah, they just need to hone that in, just reel in the line a tiny bit, and they should be okay, but no.
За шүү P-ийн урдтай тоглолт оруулаад ирсээ. Допо монстр яжууд байсан. Яа, Jam Young.
Why is Yami getting aggressive in mid like that? I just don't get it. I just don't.
Ями нэлээ уушаа бүшилсэн байсан.
It's the first.
За энэ ротет B руу орох гэдэг юм болов уу?
So maybe it's
Bumble monster тулаад ирдсэн байгаа да.
Definitely interesting as you said. It would have made more sense to sort of try reel them back. But that is not what we see. Maybe they're trying to meet the fire with fire potentially.
Well, I think anyone will tell you you can't fight fire with fire.
За допо ганцаараа л аваад байна.
Whilst it's always a fun, ambitious attempt to
За эхний кил амжилттай.
pan out the way you want it to. Dover.
Багны ард хоёр төлж байгаа тань. За Cappy APC-гээс нэмэлтээр ирнэ.
No one on the site to deny that plant. The smoke will give them a bit of cover to press forward though, so kind of helps out both teams here. Young kicks out wide, spots one crossing. Now they're under pressure.
Яа, за Cappy. Jam Young-ыг унгасан. Трейдийг навуулаад өгөөрэй. Кούλээс ганцаараа нэг эсрэг нэг Mercury-тэй. Яамны цаг яваад байгаа да.
So awkward to watch.
Яа, за 9 HP-тэй авцсан да. Киттэй. За 6-3 болж байна.
No, he's got it. He's got it.
Ямар гоё трейдүүд хурдаа ороод ирлээ сая.
Difficult to watch and just that was rough. Really, really rough.
Yeah.
I don't want to say poorly played from Cyclone, but just needed one bullet. The whole time he was low. The whole time Gulas was a one hit.
Trying to just buy time, I think. Just trying to push that bomb timer like closer and closer down. I think that was going through the head. Is, as you said, one shot, but difficult angle there. Really awkward, sort of dancing around the pillar.
Yeah, you can get in your own head a little bit about it when, like, you know that you just need to buy time. You're not actually really aiming to kill them, right? You're just trying to like bait out the shots and whatnot. But yeah, obviously nerves as well. High pressure game, high pressure situation.
За Coolest shot алдсан. 2 shot алдлаа да.
From both. I mean, Coolest.
Two missed shots
Okay,
there.
fine. Misses his shots, but Yamyo sprays a whole AK mag. This is definitely not.
It's not the clean game.
Longer хоёр тоглогч.
Right? Yeah, it's not the game that we saw in map 1, and it really doesn't.
Тэгэхээр Масая бүр short дээр л өргөлөө яваад байгаа юм байна. Big-ийн short дээр.
Nice headshot.
За Mercury Cappy long дээр унгасан. 5 эсрэг 2.
Yeah, this is a nice little round recovery. This is better. This is
За руу Агийн сайтыг бол эзэлсэн.
man advantage, not taking casualties is exactly what they need. ATOX probably back off here as well. They don't have too much money to work with, even though they did.
За Emaiku-г унгасаа Yami ганцаараа 6-4 болох нь ойлгомжтой болж байгаа.
Not a lot they can do about this one. I don't think they'll find him.
I don't think they will. It's a very awkward position as well. Bomb timer already half gone as well, so it looks like Yami's safe for now. Good one to get back on the board though. Stopping sort of when we've seen ATOX get these rounds, they've been able to piece together a lot in this game so far. So Cyclone stopping them being able to put more than one round together has really destroyed their economy as well. We were talking about them having sort of
ATOX мөнгө нэлээд араа болцсон доо.
stacked in their favor, and look at where it's gone now.
Ями utility-тэй, diffuse kit-тэй, armor-тэй. За баялж байгаа мэн үү? Force by round ATOX-оос орж ирж байна.
They make the right call not to hunt. There's still a fair few rounds to be played in the half. They don't have tons of cash, so building up that bank is definitely beneficial. But they've got a bit of a ticket back into this. Now, remember we were talking in the pre-game about the fact that this map is inherently very CT-sided, and therefore, Advent under a bit of pressure. But yeah, therefore, ATOX, if they end up with like an 8-7 half, whilst it's decent, it's still going to be something that Cyclone are very, very
Ямигийн connector-ийн контакт 59 HP-тэй болгочлоо.
Some other stuff here in this one. Don't want to be dying to the pistols, so regrouping, aggressing towards long. A B stack in place at the moment, but in the next few seconds they'll probably start to realise that no one's home and get the rotations flowing.
It looks like they're sort of on their way already.
Big rotation.
You're going to be spearheading this long push. We'll take first contact. Dodges a bullet. Immediately thrown back into
За арал орхон дээ.
This could be
Flash-тад ороод ирсэн.
5 on the site whilst they've lost the early man.
Дөрвөөс 3.
Great job.
Гурвээс нэг болгоцоо. Double copy coolest нэг киллийгээд авсан. Мосе тойлтоос ирж байна. За double үсрээд инфог нь бол авчлаа. 30 секундын хугацаа.
It's on top of the box as well.
There's extra players behind the site. The bomb's in the most awkward position ever. It's actually up on top of Dark.
За Cyclone сэвэлж байгаа юм байна. Мосея. 7-4 боллоо.
What a lovely turn of events for them.
Beautiful counter strike being played there. Now,
Занчтай яагаад байна?
we've said this so many times, Messiah.
700 ортер тэнгэх гэдэг нь үгүй юу?
Last
Манай
man alive.
Univision.
Now,
Always the way.
always the way. Very weird place for the bomb to fall there as well. So even if he had got a couple more kills, sort of jumping up to try retrieve it, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
becomes
pretty.
awkward, right? Yeah. And that's where you see those kind of awkward plays happen. Messiah, he's often left in these clutch situations.
We've said it a lot,
he
yeah.
lurks. He's lurking in so many of these rounds. You see where he was there. Whilst all of his teammates were working their way up long, he was sort of that man that was holding for the connector rotation and just sort of playing a much more defensive approach to these scenarios.
За Cyclone tactical time off 2 дахь авч байна.
On the bomb site, and obviously if he was there a little bit sooner, maybe could have found a trade or two. It's also very important that you've got someone watching your backside. You've got somebody cutting off that hard flank either all the way around from Fountain or someone on their fast rotation through Con. So yeah, definitely like a valuable piece to the puzzle, but in so many of these rounds he's just had no opportunity to have any impact. It's just like his teammates execute, they all die, he's left in an impossible situation, and it's either go and save or try and find a couple of consolidation frags, but it's never a contentious round for him to try and clutch up. 7-4, ATOX looking great, but they are up against another buy, so this one should be another brawl.
За энэ раундыг авчих юм бол Cyclone. За мөнгөтэй юм байна уу, мөнгөтэй юм. Дараагийн раунд. Судалгүй баялж. За бэрүү баахан флаш хийх юм. Мосея. Бэдэр лөргөж байгаа. За нас бэрийг 3 тоглогч хамаасан.
Slower approach again. Finally, ATOX sort of reeling it in. I mean, I say that, we have seen it for a couple of rounds, but it's just another nice example of it. Not pressing for the short control. Actually not really playing anybody too aggressively on the site either, other than Mick, who's in towards the barrels early on in the round. They were just playing a little further back, expecting that if a B execution does come through, they're going to smoke CT.
Бомб Б тал руугаа хандчлаа та. За манайхаас 4 тоглож Б рүү ороод ирсэн. Ямар гоё уншичваа.
They have, and they're stacked towards the site as well, so they're about to run into a.
За Б рүү орох нь бол ерөнхийдөө тодорхой болчихлоо. Monster 2 төлөж ороод ирсэн. MIQ open frag-ыг оруулж ирлээ.
Clean headshot to do so. with 30 seconds left, they've got to make their minds up here. Jamyoung's got a good position on long, but they don't have a lot of time.
Тэгээ коннектор руугаа явуулж байгаа юм байна. Ями, Mercury коннектор орж байгаа юм байна. Цай смок хийж ахтал. Касаг ороод даасан да. Coolest-ийн double kill. Capi Jamyoung-ийг унгасан 8-4 боллоо. За 2-0-доо дараагийн шатнд гараад ирүүлж тэгээд. Хэл хэрэгтэй байна да. За юу тохиолдох нь нэрвтэй. Золиг гэж. Энэ 702-ыг унших авах гэдэг нэг үедээ ч та. Үзтээ. Опа. Refresh хийсэн. Тэр шууд Twitch-ийн feed авч байгаа учраас. 1080 болгомоор л байна. За 4-4 болцсон юм байна. Ями Jamyoung өөрөө очоод өгсөн.
It's not like they've got any mollies that can sort of flush out a sandbags player or anything like that. It's just 2 smoke grenades.
За энэ раундыг ATOX авчих юм бол дараагийн раунд CYCLONE. CYCLONE Echo round байх ёстой.
2-man defense in place here to try and stop this from going down.
It's been really good to see them wheel it back in.
За short-ор 2 ороод ирсэн. Майку double kill. Monster орж ирээд тэр эдэлсэн 2-2. Bomb тавигдана.
In a weird position as well. Look at it. It's playing from construction.
Yeah, it's a horrible position to have an AWP, and he's going to have to walk up scoped in as well, otherwise he'll give away that position. So, waiting for his teammate to take contact. He can then start to walk out a little bit based off of the information on the positions. Molly deployed, smoke on the bomb, swaps out to the AK as he starts to work his way up. He's killed on the cross.
За байсан гүй 8-5.
Finds the headshot onto Cabal. So nice recovery from CYCLONE. Could have definitely been an.
Заанахаас баа хийчихэл юм байна.
Yeah, trading evenly.
Баббуны гарбуу гаргаад.
Certainly wasn't enough.
Эсвэл utility-гүү Max 7 гаргаад. За тэрийг cap руу өгч байгаа юм байна.
But when you look at the rounds, when you look at the money, if they lose this one, then it's almost a guaranteed 8-7.
Тэрс ATOX ихний ягсыг бол тэргүүж дуусах нь бол ойлгомжтой болсон. За тийм нэгээр илүү бол мянгаар илүү гэдэг шүү дээ. Ooh, it's
Straight through the smoke is really good. A lot of damage done there on Dobu.
Spots. Very, very good start here for CYCLONE again, though, as I was saying before. Not done a very good job at finding these opening picks and going untraded, so advantage like this.
Хөөд байна уу та гэж коннектор руу уруудчих.
Absolute gold dust, yeah. You can see them pushing out through.
Би юм байна да. Капи ганцаараа бедэр байгаа даа.
Any resistance just yet though.
Just went with the sniper. All 5 going to burst onto B again. I mean, they had good success with it in the last round, so I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dobu desperately rotating around. The issue is he's got an MP9. He's trying to
find the range.
On the site. Oh no, Cabal. Oh, he was so patient. So patient. Doesn't pull the
trigger. Double kill оруулаад ирлээ. 4-2. Заанах сэвлэхээс арга байхгүй. Мөнгө байхгүй.
Trigger discipline, you know, that doesn't always pay off.
Дараагийн раунд бол тоо эхний хагас сүүлийн раунд.
But sometimes it leads to the most frustrating moments. You know, you've been waiting, and suddenly your chance is gone.
Suddenly the guy spins around, shoots you in the head.
I hate it. It's that sixth sense, you know, when someone's watching and you can just feel it.
Yeah.
I don't have that sixth sense in Counter-Strike. I will just get shot in the back. But you know, some people have that sixth sense, you know.
За
8-6 ч одоо эхний хагсын сүүлийн раунд 8-6 9-6 юу 8-7 юу гэдэг харцгаая.
Right behind someone and I was like, okay, cool, play a bit of trigger discipline, might even go for a knife kill. And then they just turn around for no reason. And yeah.
But a little bit overconfident.
Cappy Max 7-тэй гарч ирж байгаа.
Maybe just a little. 8-6 though. Now with a couple of
MIQ
weapons saved, I
dealтэй.
said like if they lose this round then it's sort of a guaranteed 8-7 half. Wasn't really.
Ама өөр буул гаргаад ирлээ ямар ч
Actually
байсан.
might be a couple of weapons carried across. So with that factor coming in, yeah, and a mag 7, right? Yeah, there's definitely a chance that ATOX could pull a 9th here. All comes down to how much damage that mag 7 can truly do. Come on, Cabal.
It's a did it get a
Give
buff
us the
recently,
source.
or is ATOX just playing difficult and confusingly? Do you think?
I think it's the latter. I think it's difficult and confusing.
I like it though.
Never let them know your next move.
Од нилээн л нэхурл
Up here from Con.
үзэж байгаа харагдаж байна.
Not quite into his scopes just yet. Yami, really advanced position up here long. Take a lot of space. Jump boost, unexpected. Gets one.
3 тоглогч Ями.
2 of them are 1 HP.
Яа, за Ями харсан 2-ыг унгаасаа 3 эсрэг 3.
Okay.
Talk us
Even
through that.
trades. Even trades. I mean, that's amazing damage from Yami there. Shame that he couldn't find that third. If he does, then he actually stays alive, and then we really do have.
Short руу гарах юм байна уу?
And Bet's just spotted an arm.
Yeah.
Cut to the head. It's the eagle here. It's the weaker weapons that are left.
За Cappy юу эсбитэй ядахна.
Mag 7 and he's miles away from the action. It's just not.
Зангсаар 8 дуудаг ярьцаад ихнийхс дуусч байна.
8-7. We're going to go to a 3-minute break, folks.
ATOX 1 раундын зөрүүтэй тоглолтыг тэргүүлж дуусгалаа. За тэгээ хоёр дахь хагасаар мэдээж ATOX-ын титлаасаа буюу довтлогооны талаас үзнэ. Тэгээд эсэг хугацааны дараа тоглолтын 2 дугаар хоёр уулзъя. Лайк дараагүй юм байх юм бол ганц товчон дээр дараа дэмжиж өгөөрэй гэж хүсмээр байна. Баярлалаа та бүхэндээ. Туудахгүй иргэд уулзъя.
Hello, it looks like we are back.
Yeah, underway with the second half then, folks. 8-7, and ATOX, well, they're going to be coming in with just these blocks. Actually, no, I say that.
За тоглолт өгдөг.
And Julie's.
Их хүлээж байна.
Julie's on Cyclone.
За ATOX-ийн титлаасаа.
Yeah. Messiah.
Шууд агрессив дайрчж байгаа юм байна шүү дээ. Double Kapal. Mongolian Duo.
Get to see that Julie's used the tool there.
Casemiro хоёрыг унгаасан. За бид нар дахиад нэг тоглож байгаа. Jam Young. Coolest-ийг 41 HP-тэй болтно. За энэ дээр гой трейдлээд өгмөр байгаа.
Flash is good though.
Side's under a lot of pressure. By himself. Okay, the movement, the timing, it's good.
Yeah.
Gets off more damage.
Авьяас 3 байгаа шүү дээ. Энэ арай. Toxic jamming байгаа даа.
Well, waits for his moment to pounce. Pokes up. Big headshot. Up with another, and somehow.
2 эсрэг 2 болсон. За гарбын раунчтай ийм л
Quickly that turned around there
эйгүү
as
шүү
well.
дээ.
Bomb.
За бомбол дарцаа. За дараалахгүй энэ дэж та. За ямарс бомбол тавигдсан. Хоёр усан дээр 2 тоглогч.
All over the place. Jumping.
Ийм coolest ганцаар болцсон. 2 эсрэг 1.
All on to call us. They had a 2-man advantage in this round. And now he's got a 2v1 to clutch up. 41 points of health.
Таасангүй. За ямарс бомбол тавигдсан. 8-8 болж байна.
Big pissed around win for the Cyclone squad. But with the bomb plant going down with 3 kills found, ATOX likely will try and go for a buy in this one. But yeah, that is not the outcome that they were hoping for off of the back of those early duels. And I can't help but feel like they should have just grouped up and played together in that scenario. I know that it was, more sort of cracked individual shots from Cyclone that got that one going their way. But yeah, considering they were in a 5v3, they could have just played together, played the trading game. Instead, it really felt like they overcomplicated things.
Just a little bit there as well. And of course, as you said,
За манайхаас 2 AK.
some pretty good weaponry.
Нэг Mac-10, нэг Deagle,
Couple of AKs.
Galilta,
Unfortunately, somebody relegated only to a Deagle. But you know,
Force by
got
round.
to make those sacrifices for the greater good. Slow round here. Everyone inching slowly forward, waiting for first contact. And it'll be Mercury likely to spot the first head.
Interesting buy here for ATOX. Normally when you get the bomb plant, you see the second round come with a few Galils, maybe a couple of Mac-10s, you got a bit of util. That's not the case here. We have 2 AKs, a Galil, and then a Deagle and a Mac-10. And not very much utility at all. So, an interesting approach.
The coolest
Sheer
bombтэй.
firepower.
Kind of relying on the
Long
skill
руугаа
of the 2 top fraggers, right? The hands of Dobu and Yami, who are both on 12 frags.
Long-ий smoke-ийг хийж буцаж байгаа юм байна.
See if their mechanical aim can carry them to a round win. A little bit of damage.
Наадар 2 тоглогч байгаа.
No kill
Касэ
found on
болон
CT
Mercury.
side. 40 seconds left on this clock. They're going to start to regroup and hit over towards B.
It looks like they might have sensed this as well. They're
The
talking
monster
about here
талдаа
sending somebody else down.
Jamming Advent 2.
Advent tucked into this corner here as well.
И
Mick to be the first to drop here.
Advent
За,
still stay
coolest.
completely silent as
Дарцсан
well
да Jamming
throughout all
гүн.
of this.
Cappy.
Still has a chance to pounce.
3
It's
эсрэг 2
really
боллоо.
can't cleared. Cabal needs one more though. This Kaiser rotates over. Big shot.
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
scout.
yeah.
Follows up with a head as well.
За, эснэм
Large
болсон.
shot.
За, одоо
50
ATOX.
that shot. Likely
ATOX бас
to
Echo орж ирэх бах. Хаа та.
to do so.
Диглүүд гарч магадгүй юм.
9-8, Cyclone take the lead. They demolish the buyout
Ooh.
from ATOX. And
The
we're going to call a
Nova.
quick tactical pause here. A Nova? Oh my goodness.
We were
Okay.
talking about this in the break, weren't we, M&J?
Би
We were talking a
Майкл
little bit
shotgun
about
гаргаад
how,
ирж байгаа юм уу та.
it's an
Үгүй.
interesting choice to see so many shotguns coming out. I personally love it. Now, I'm a little bit of a sort of
Wild
chaotic good
гэж байгаа юм бах та. Force by round гарах гэдэг юм болов уу?
really throws the round into disarray. I can't help but feel that maybe there's a bit of an overuse of the shotguns.
How many
in the
times
series.
have you watched Asian Counter-Strike?
A couple.
A couple.
I see. I play a lot
Okay.
of shotguns. I'm a very sort of shotgun player. I like being that ratty sort of person. We talked about it. You know, Nuke will likely see a lot of this as well.
Have you ever checked your extended family tree? Got any relatives on the other side
I
of the pond?
haven't checked my extended family tree actually. I might have to. I might have to go
Maybe.
do that now. Is it a
Maybe there's a bit of
particularly
Asian
big
blood in
symbol of
you.
Asian Counter-Strike of the shotguns?
Not particularly, no.
Oh,
But
okay. Well, you let me on there.
Asian Counter-Strike can sometimes just be a little bit wacky. It can just.
I like it.
За хоёр дийгэл, гурван дийгэлтэй, Coolest Glockтэй, за Shotgunтай. За MK-г манд бариад авсан байхгүй. Mercury double kill. Дийгэл болоод авсан. Mercury triple kill оруулж ирлээ. Ями тойлтоос.
Especially with the armor around it as well, just to pay it off.
18 боллоо.
That wasn't going to happen. So,
MK-гийн тэр shotgun-ы авдгийг
lovely little recovery from them.
жоох ойлгосонгүй.
Now they've got to face up against the buyer though. Coolast with that AWP.
За тэгээд бодсон юм байсан л үү дээ тий.
Coolast has been a real menace with that.
Connector олоолоо ороод 3T гэж.
Absolutely. We can see that Mick, who of course did buy the
Botsem
Nova
болов.
last round, relegated back to a deagle, not quite afforded the rifle.
Yeah, there's no need for it. He could have an AK right now if he didn't do that. I don't get it. But
it's not for us to get. Maybe that we don't have the full script, you know. Ooh, almost caught there on the jump over was Mercury.
Тэгээд Guardian-ы дурчиг бол харсан инфо байгаа шүү дээ. Уг нь бол
ATOX are starting to make mistakes here. This is actually a little bit.
Тааш хийсэн бахаа сая. Тэгээд ингэж орсон болов уу?
Aggressive in playground. To be jumping around that corner without your gun out, he's not expecting to take a close gunfight.
Party дээр нэг дуулж байгаа даа.
Back a little bit further towards the slide or something, but there's no.
Coolest яг л 2-1 голдол орчоод байна да.
Coolest confirms that there is one towards party as well, so they're under a lot of pressure right now. Good flash, but Mercury doesn't deploy his smoke, gets his gun back out, mows them all down, and yeah, just doesn't need his teammates. He's doing it all himself. This is going to be an ace for Mercury. It's nothing too flashy, it's just...
Саяд нэг бас л ойлгосонгүй. Яг юу болчихв? Тэр Garden руу орсон тоглолчийг одоо харсан л баймаар юм да. Хараад бууцсан шүү дээ бүр араас нь. Тэр араасаа цууд тийш ороод дундчихэд. За окей. 4-9-ыг диигэл.
That was horribly played around. Just to
trying to sugarcoat it, but it's just it wasn't great.
Gonna sugarcoat it. It was terrible. Hopefully they don't do that again, because that was bad. Pistols leaning over towards B. It actually feels like they're a little bit lost here on their T side. They're running out of options, and yeah, it's quite clear that they're not really sure how to go about these rounds. I do not envy Coolest in this situation, having to likely call on the fly. This is a map that they don't really play, and therefore they're not going to have the same sort of set strategies and coordination that you maybe expect from other teams at this caliber. To be honest, I really don't think they were expecting to play it today in this series.
Neither.
So yeah, this is a little bit of a curveball. It's easy to play your CT side, but as soon as you move over to your attack, you.
За энэ хэмээрүүгээ л орох юм байна да. Shorter 2, Monster-ороо 2 гэлсэн боловч Monster-т бас Yami маань уусаа. Double Coolest. Нэг kill хийгээд авсан. За энэ APC-ийн тоглогч ч оруулахгүй байна л да.
Perfect position here to punish, and it's just over 16 points of health. Down to 0.
0-2-8.
12th on the board there for Cyclone.
That's how I cast him.
Yeah, could have been a very different outcome, but weren't able to get onto the site, weren't able to get that bomb down, and without the util, no smokes or flashes to give them safe passage. 12-8, 4-round lead here for Cyclone, as yeah, they are starting to pull away from this one a little bit now. ATOX back on a bye, but no AWP for Coolast. And as I said before, I really, really do expect Cyclone to sort of just run away with this one. They've looked much, much better on their CT side. ATOX have looked very lackluster since moving over to their attack.
Absolutely.
A little bit of early pressure. Okay, Mick with a nice entry. Messiah maybe getting a little too big for his boots.
Cool.
Bobo spots the one on barrels as well. I'm desperately just trying to get out of here alive, and gets one on the way out, no less.
Yeah, it's crisp.
Эмаку мосыг унгасан трейдийг нь оруулаад ирсэн. Маку дээр Jamian топог унасан.
Gives them the man advantage, and after a shaky start, they actually.
Нэр Эмаку гэж хэлдэг юм гэсэн шүү нэрээ. Mick.
Now just a little bit of the waiting game, waiting to see who moves first.
Би өөр Mick-г хэлээ сурцсан байлээ.
In the perfect position.
За 4-3.
himself.
Coolest.
Taken down. Spam through the wood.
Jamming-ыг унагаасан. За 2-2 манай хоёр төлөж хоёулаа уулаан байгаа да. Уулаа. Бурхан. Нэг нь 12 HP-тэй, нэг нь 16 HP-тэй.
Health here is not good. Doesn't really matter up against the light.
Жилитэй байхгүй, нэг flashтай.
They do have to try get this plant down eventually. Reposition here from Mercury.
Хоёулаа EBC-гээр орж ирэх нь.
Round for ATOX, and it's concerning that they're so low on health, especially with Kaze. On AWP, likely to swap it out unless Mercury can get both done without his teammates' help. Perhaps not.
Yeah. 13-8 боллоо.
Regardless, it's 13 here for the CT side. They continue their streak, and yeah, as I said before, ATOX needed that one. Things were looking good. Things were going their way.
They were.
And now their opponents are 3 away from the finish line.
It's a difficult one. We have seen ATOX get basically nothing in this half so far.
За tactical timeout.
Now we see another timeout.
ATOX-ос орж
Only
ирсэн.
2 left to go, and we are getting very near to that sort of that map point. So there's not much opportunity left for them to use it potentially. Gap isn't huge. It's not ideal, but a timeout coming in nonetheless. Money, again, shaky situation. This is, again, another one of these must-win rounds. And unfortunately, all of the rounds that we've set that here for ATOX, unfortunately, haven't gone their way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's been a whitewash, right? They've definitely come close in some of these rounds, but since moving over to their T side, they have really struggled to convert any of their
За ATOX-ос 5 AK.
Major impact on this half. Rifles out again for the CTs then. AWP on Kaze, which was saved from the last. Everybody else can comfortably reinvest those M4s. 8Ks for the attack. No AWP. Not down.
Яа, тэр нээд ямар муухай ороод ирвэ Coolest тэр.
Down to lack of opportunity. Messiah deploys his smoke into shore. Sorry, into connector. The door's open. He has a sight line into shore. He starts to work his way back. Needs to be careful. Flash over the top, and he just slips away in the nick of time.
За ерөнхий ааругаа тоолох гээд байна уу даа л гэж харагдаад байна.
Not really wanting to take the fight to them on this round here. Just keeping an eye there on Long. Covering his teammate. Gonna push up just a little bit. Mercury here will have to contend with 2.
Nick.
За Mick тоопо.
This one's definitely been much slower.
Monster руу тулаа ороод ирсэн. За буцаад rotate орчиж байгаа юм байна бэ рүү. За би тэр яг 3 тоглогч нь хамгаалаад байгаа да. Ями дээр лөрк хийж байгаа. За флашнд нэг ч хүн орсонгүй дээ энэ доо. Advent Coolest-ийг бариад авсан да. Тэр. Буцаад Monster-оор гараг үт. Short-оор орох юм. За уул явт. Байхгүй шүү дээ. Юу вэ?
Mercury, beautiful triple kill. And this is bad. This is really, really badly played from ATOX. And again, it's just a real testament.
Түрүүч Coolest бэдэр унсаа. Ями лөркөжсэн. 14-8. За тэг мөнгө бас нэлээд зүйл харагдаж байна да. За энэ гарбуу аваад. За яг хоо map point-ийг нь бол өгөөл өгье гэж байгаа юм байна. Тэсэн чи Mick тэндээс галер гаргаад ирсэн. За баялж байгаа юм байна оо. Баяс. За тэгээд дүү or die round гэсэн үг шүү дээ. Энийг алдах юм бол дараагийн раунд огт мөнгө байхгүй. Трейд байхгүй юм байна. Mercury-гийн double kill ороод ирсэн. Юу болоод байна аа? Mercury ч бүр юу вэ?
3-man
How he
army.
gets away with
3-ыг
that.
унгачлаа.
Just criminal.
Look at him, 26 and 12. He's just been given the opportunities to absolutely farm ATOX here.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. Head on a swivel. 3 beautiful kills. Still alive.
За энэ мап ер нь ингээд жиж болж байгаа шүү байна да. Нүктээр бүх асуудал шийдэгдэхэндээ.
Much better stuff from Cyclone. Feels like they were slow starters.
За одоо форслот буу гаргана. Байраас өлөд нэг ч раунд аваагүй явж байна ATOX. 8-7-оор дууссан.
But yeah, it's early. Maybe not for them, but for us. Maybe early in their Counter-Strike day, perhaps. And yeah, maybe just taking a little bit of time to get warm to the series, but they seem to be on fire right now, and ATOX have no way of extinguishing them.
Absolutely, we can see Mercury being sent back down.
That
he is clung to so dearly as well, and has done such a diligent job on this. I actually
За энэ ерөнхийдөө энэ map бол ер нь өгж байгаа юм байна дөө.
Good name.
Needless damage taken from Yamin. Oh, this is done.
За ингэснээр 3 дахь map буюу Decider map-аар нүк гарч ирж байгаа. За нүктээр судлаа шийдэх юм байна да.
Doesn't even want to poke his head over. He's going to let his teammate take the brunt of the firefight. He'll find a freebie if needs be, and it'll be Jam Young to take it. Yami.
16-8-аар дуусч байгаа юм байна.
He's only on 36 health because he ran through a playground molly for no real reason. He had his knife out as well, so it wasn't even like he was expecting to take a gunfight. 1v5. Yeah, it's just been. I think they were sort of mentally checked out of the game probably 5 or 6 rounds ago.
It's
maybe
definitely demoralizing when you've lost so many in a row and had such a devastating half as well. After such a strong half, losing so many can be devastating. It looks like we might be getting the final engagement of the map right here.
Тэгснээр 2 баг яг өөр өөрсдийнхөө пиклсэн мапууд дээр ялтыг авч чадлаа. Тэгснээр 3 дахь map буюу Decider map-аар нүк гарч ирж байна. 2 багийн тогтын тооны харьцаа 1-1 болж байна.
16-8 is pretty impressive. That's going to wrap things up for our second map though. We're going to have to jump to another break. When we return, we'll be back with our third and final map of Nuke. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's going to be a knife round to decide the sides. That's going to have a big influence as well. So, yeah, you definitely do not want to miss it. Join us back here in about 10 minutes' time, and we'll bring you the action. Welcome back, everybody, to the Intel Extreme Masters Asian Closed Qualifiers. We've just seen two fantastic maps between Cyclone and ATOX. And yeah, to be honest, I really don't know what the third has in store. Of course, I'm MJ, I'm still joined by Affinity, and we'll be bringing you through the action. Third and final map of Nuke. What are your thoughts? Which way do you think this one's leaning?
It's a very interesting one. Given how we saw map 2 go, I think that maybe as we're getting towards the end of a best of 3, and it has drawn out quite a bit as well here, I think that maybe sort of mental games coming in as well. People are getting a little bit tired. So I'm thinking Cyclone, just because of their experience with playing these longer series. So I see that coming into fight. I also think Knife Round will have quite a big impact, because you know how we said Overpass the second most CT-sided to Nuke, which is our next map.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a big toss-up, because, of course, getting that CT side in first gives you the ability to put rounds on the board. So you go into the second half with a little less pressure to have to play catch-up here. So I think there's a couple of factors going into it, but I'm edging towards giving it towards Cyclone based on what we saw there on Overpass.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm sort of feeling the same way. I think that kind of momentum and just the counter-strike that they were playing on Overpass was fantastic. So many rounds where they just weren't dropping a single man. They were just looking unbeatable, frankly, when they were on their CT side there. What's important to note, right, and I am going off of HLTV matches, not necessarily ones outside of it within Challenger League and things like that. ATOX have got a 100% win rate here on Nuke over the past few months. Quite convincing wins against some pretty big teams. On the other side of things, where Atom, yeah, they played it a fair bit back in sort of May, but the most recent 2 times they played it, they lost both times. One of those was against ATOX. It was a 16-10 loss, and it was only about a month and a half ago. So if there is anything to sort of come into this and sort of hold your horses a little bit and say, wow, actually, there is really a chance here for ATOX, it is certainly that matchup there, and it's certainly Nuke as a map as a whole. Now, I don't want to sort of count them out of it at all. I think that actually ATOX have got a lot more equity in this than I think that they were sort of given credit for with the bookies odds at the start of this and whatnot. But yeah, I do sort of believe, completely agreeing with you, if the knife does go to ATOX, then they do definitely have a chance of pulling this their way. And that would be quite a big upset, right? That would actually be a really good, really good opportunity for them to get off to a flying start. Now, what's actually interesting is the odds. Do you think, right, just a random guessing game, do you reckon that the odds, so obviously at the start of the match, the odds were leaning quite heavily in Cyclone's favour, right? Do you reckon now the odds have closed up or gone further in Cyclone's favour?
I think they've closed up.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
And they got further.
You'd think. They've got further apart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've got further apart. Cyclone are now even further favourites than they started off as, which is quite surprising to me because, yeah, I think ATOX played fantastic Counter-Strike in that first map. Obviously, they were a bit absent on that second half of Overpass, and I think that's why those odds have shifted the way that they have. But yeah, Nuke's a whole different territory. Nuke's a whole different kettle of fish. And again, it is one that they play. It's very easy to forget that ATOX don't play Overpass. They don't play it. Like, hardly, they don't play it at all. So yeah, it's kind of no surprise that they didn't have anything cooking for their T side, but they certainly will for Nuke. It's a map that they were somewhat expecting to play in this series. It was one that they were floating as a third, and therefore they have to have something in the oven there for it. So we're just going to have to wait and see, but yeah, it's going to be a bit of a coin toss.
Absolutely. Now, I'm personally a big Nuke fan as well. We talked a little bit over the break. We've seen so many shotguns coming out. There's loads of positions on Nuke that you can play. That these sort of mag 7s are very prominent as well. So it will be interesting to see if they continue with that theme of, you know, buying the shotguns on rounds where the buy is a little scrappier as well. So I'm really interested to see how that sort of plays into Nuke specifically. What are your thoughts on the map, just generally? You a Nuke player?
I like Nuke, yeah. Nuke's a cool map. Not one of my favourites, but I am a big fan of Nuke. And frankly, you're absolutely right? If you're using shotguns on Overpass, then you're definitely
going to be using them on Nuke, yeah.
Right? There are certain positions where they can really just be utilised, especially on top half. I actually, just to sort of like answer your question a little bit deeper, right? It's always easy to just be like, yeah, I like Nuke. My biggest kind of qualm with Nuke, I guess, is the A-bomb site. I just think it's horrible. I think it's a horrible site. I think it's horribly designed for a T. the fact that you're having to entry in, and it's definitely got better since they made it so that the rafters are kind of split down the middle, so you can't sit like above Squeaky Door. That was ridiculous. When you used to be able to sit above Squeaky Door and you'd have to entry out Squeaky like this is just insane, right? But it's still kind of the case coming out of Hut. The CTs being able to sort of have that cover on top Hut and being able to sit on the rafters above that area as well and sort of have cover from main and whatnot. I do just think that it's very, very difficult for a T side to entry into the A bomb site. And therefore, I'm not the biggest fan of it, if I'm perfectly honest, as a player. But it's always exciting to watch, and it leads to very, very fun Counter-Strike. A lot of the teams enjoy playing it in the pool as well. It's a fun map. So yeah, I'm excited.
It's one of those that I love it as a caster. I personally love it as a player, but I understand where people don't necessarily. The one that I have heard, a role that's seldom talked about, the Observers. I've heard that the Observers hate it. Because of the multi-layers.
Sides are stacked.
And so I've heard the Observers not so much a fan of it. So I feel really bad, when going into a series and I'm like, I really want to see a nuke. And I just see my Observer's face go, oh God, not again. Just the balance guy, no nuke.
Don't say that.
So I'm personally really excited as well. We should be going into the map any second now as well. So it will definitely be an interesting one to see. It is very surprising that the odds have gotten further apart. I think
I'm equally as surprised
me,
by
actually.
This. Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit of a strange one. 9 players are in the server. Oh no, actually, sorry, all 10.
All 10 are
one of them's on the wrong team. So hopefully we should be ready to go soon. Yeah, it is. I would consider that an unfair advantage. And also, like, you've got a man behind enemy lines, and you've got to try and work out who it is. Who's the imposter?
I think that's a whole new, get rid of deathmatch, get rid of retakes. I think this is the new game mode that we want to be seeing. Danger Zone, don't need it.
Forget about it. It's the imposter. It's the imposter game.
Among Us. Oh God.
Among Us, but Counter-Strike. It could be kind of cool actually. It'd be like, right, so no one's got their names in game. Okay, so everyone's just like default names, right, or just colors, right? Just be like red, green, blue. Then it really is Among Us, right? And you've got to try like no comms. You're not allowed to. Well, actually, you can talk in game, but to play it properly, you'd like not be allowed to be in Discord, which is kind of the same as Among Us, right? And then you're basically just playing the round, trying to kill the other team, but the imposter's got to try and kill his teammates. This would be sick. This would be so good. Somebody make this. This would be a really fun game.
This is why CS2 hasn't been released yet. Sorry, we've been cooking in the background, and we said, we need this. We need this to be put in. So that's why it's all delayed, because we asked for that to be added.
I don't want to face the backlash for that. I have not
personally. I'll take the backlash. It's okay. I'll take the bullet for that one. It's my fault that CS2 isn't out yet. I'm sorry.
It was all her idea.
Summer's coming to a close. It's got to be in the next week. September is autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it. We've got a week left of summer.
That would be a cool community game mode, though.
I think it would. I think it's one of those things that Overwatch has all of the custom lobbies and stuff. I think that'd be quite an interesting thing, is if you could mod CS a little bit more easily. I think some crazy stuff will come out of that. Sorry for the waffling, by the way. We've been told there's a little bit of a delay. Players on the wrong teams. There's as much fun as that would be to watch. Unfortunately, the players aren't particularly happy not having their full team. I understand why. I get it. So
it's a little more competitive.
You stuck with us for a little bit longer. Unlucky you.
That's fine. But yeah. It's a shame. I mean, to be honest, I'm very much. I don't think CS2 is coming in the summer. I think it might be a next month.
They never specified
I'm actually really interested. I think they said summer 2023. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure.
I hope so. But it's a bit of a strange one, because I was talking to a couple of professional players about it the other day, and they said what's going to be really interesting is the rollout, right? Because they said, like, when CS2 comes out, because it's not going to be a new game, it's just going to be replacing CSGO. You can't just have every single tournament just instantly move on to CS2, because you've got lots of players that have had months of playing the beta, and you've got some players that haven't touched it. And it is different. It's not massively different, but it is still different, right?
So I'm agreeing with you. That's an agreement. Sorry, I'm a confusing person at times.
I thought you were about to cut me off and be like, I
agree with you. But there's an issue on top of that as well, is that a lot of the tier 1 professionals got access to CS2 very early on. But they're a lot of the player base that hasn't had the time to grind CS2 because, of course, they're still working on CSGO and all of the tournaments are still on CSGO. So they haven't necessarily had the chance to get in the hours of CS2. And this is where a friend of mine thinks that Tier 2 is going to be really dominant coming into the beginning of CS2 because they don't necessarily have the CSGO tournaments like lined up back to back to back. They have the chance to play 2. And whilst it's the same game, there are enough differences that I think the Tier 2 scene will be very dangerous for a couple of months whilst everyone else finds their feet.
Yeah, and most of the Tier 2 players have got it. When you jump down to like Tier 3, Tier 4, there are still lots of players that don't have the beta. I still don't have the bloody Counter-Strike 2 beta. How ridiculous is it?
Get this man a beta.
12,000 hours. But yeah, without further ado, folks, we've watched enough and we're ready to get into the third and final map of our series. The first match here of the IEM Sydney Asia closed qualifier, and we've gone down to the third map, the Wire. And after the knife round, it's going to be Cyclone starting off on their T side, ATOX on the CT, Mick with the Jewelries, Util, a P250 on the other side of things, and fierce ferocity to try and get this done as they work outside.
За Decider map маань нэг юм ихэлтэй. ATOX-ийн City талаас тоглолтыг эхлүүлнэ. За Secret рүү 4 гүйцээ. За ямарч 2 тоглолтчийг нэлээд тааглаа. Mercury 16 HP-тэй үлдсэн. Mick нэг тоглолч унаас Jam-ын Thread-ийг нь оруулсан да. 4-2 үлдсэн. Сум байхгүй. Моси ганцаар үлдсэн.
I don't think Messiah's going to have too much to say about this. Perhaps I speak too soon. Burst fire mode swaps out to the USP. 6 bullets left in it, but it's not.
ATOX ихний раундаа инх авч байна.
And well, a very, very big round for ATOX. There's lovely stuff and a good way to start off the third map.
Absolutely, and we said starting on the CT side as well. Getting a pistol on the CT is incredibly powerful as well. Because, of course, pistol round a little bit more even. Of course, everyone on the same footing.
The Cyclone.
With regards to weapons and money, of course. So definitely an important one to start and trying to get as many rounds on the book. That's the aim of the first half. Is just getting rounds down so that you have easier time in the second half. Brilliant start. We can see
M4 нэг FAMAS 3 MP9 гарч ирлээ.
It's got to be a bit of a sigh of relief as well after losing 8 rounds.
Jam-ын 21 HP-тэй.
On that last map. Yeah. Just kind of reminding yourself that you are capable of winning rounds. It's always going to be a confidence booster.
So double нэлээд тоглолчийг таагласан даа.
Well, these are just eco frags, but at this point they're feel good frags, right? Try not to take too many casualties, try and rack up a little bit of money, but also build up that confidence. That's exactly what they're doing right now. These Glocks just not even coming close. A little bit of damage dealt, but okay.
Хоёр тоглож байгаа тань. Вэнтэр шот болчихлаа та.
And it will just be a bit of a spray out around there. As you said, just really messy shots generally.
За нэг сүүлийн тоглож Advent-ийг унгааснаар нэг 2 тэг болж байна. За одоо Cyclone бай оруулж ирэх юм бол бай орно.
Weapons still eluding them a little bit here.
Тэрнийгсгээл AK-нууд гаргах юм байна да. За 5 AK гарч ирлээ.
The AK is a very strong weapon, of course, weapon of choice here. But a couple of SMGs, but is Nuke, you know, I'm very torn here actually. The AKs are good, especially outside, but SMGs...
Ба шуу Secret орсон. За хаарцаа. Арай амтсангүй.
Has a powerful position if he doesn't get seen. Yeah, he knows that he's been spotted. He's going to back right off with that MP9.
За ахлаа хөрөөд ирлээ дээ.
He reloads though, and that is
Уугаа цэнгэлээ сонсогчлаа. Зараас нь гараад ирсэн Coolest Dopo. Бомбтой тоглож юм бариад авсан. Хоёрын эсрэг нэг үлдсэн. Моси ганцаараа Агийн сайдн дээр явж байна.
They had such a strong lead there as well. It was looking so promising for them as well. But Coolest not wanting to let this slip away too quickly. And Bomb just unretrievable here.
Oh, that is rough. This is their buy round. They were against a bit of a bonus. 8 in a row, a flawless CT side on
5 секундын хугацаа үлдсэн. Самасаа Secret-ээр гарч ирж байна.
In these opening couple on Nuke, Messiah 50
seconds
left.
Kapal хоёулаа эзэнгүүд байгаа.
Hasn't really got the range. So
за инфог нь
he confirms the position of Messiah.
40 секундын хугацаа.
Has to back away now.
So let the M4 do the heavy lifting. They've confirmed that the bomb's still down and out in the open. Coolest He's going to be the man to take the contact, try and play the bait, try and play the crossfire, divert the attention away. Messiah seems very, very aware though. And as they line up, the headshots convert the transfer.
17 HP-тэй тэгээд раунд авчлаа. Алдаж явсан раундаа л авчлаа да. Cyclone.
A very expensive round though. No matter how clean of a sort of clutch that was in the end, it was an expensive round, and we can see that they can't really fight back with the same ferocity here. We see them, you know, reverting back to the Galils a little bit here as well. So absolutely beautiful stuff. Round on the board, but very costly.
5 forte round ATOX-оос орж ирж байна. За гадуурх smoke-уудыг таглаад авсан.
Smokes outside allows the cross there. Coolest none the wiser. Know that they're probably going to be slipping down. He's just willing to back away back into garage. Keep himself alive.
Secret-ээр 3 тоглогч ороод ирлээ. Дөрвөлж ороод ирж байгаа юм байна.
Now, think they know that they're down there. Now it's
Мосыг
just a
араас
matter
нь
of trying to figure out how to get back into the route. Cabal will
бас
be
урагшилж
forced
байгаа.
to stand,
Capital
deliver,
таархан
and
байг
hold
үлээ.
down the fort on this site.
Допо бас
Sleeping around the
mind
rafters,
талаас
trying to find
хамгаалж
the
байгаа.
perfect position for this. Can hear them there, glass breaking, the indicator that they need. Pushing through the Molotov there, damage taken. Still alive though, but not for long.
За бэг хоёрыг маань хамгаасан. За одоо энэ дээр тэгээд
Bomb will go down
Save орж ирэх юм
uncontested.
болоо
It's a
да.
matter of retakes here. Think it's looking like they're wanting to just back
За
away.
ингээд тоноор цо
Not
2-2
really much
болж
they
байна.
can do. They want to keep hold of these precious weapons. As we said, CT economy is really punishing, really devastating. So they want to keep hold of these weapons so that they're not completely helpless in the next round. Yeah, so there should be a second round on the board. Keeping it even, Stevens, on the scoreline. There are Cyclone. ATOX and Cyclone have been very back and forth, especially at the starts of these maps, of course. Nobody really finding particular dominance at the start. And that will be a bomb plant as well. Money in the back pocket. 4 weapons taken over, albeit not ideal because Galils weren't able to quite find the upgrades.
Түрүүний дээр 2-1 аддаг раунд.
Making sure they don't have to rebuy
Жоо
it has been
харамсалтай раунд
important.
байлаа.
Economy has been sort of the really devastating blow for a lot of these teams. And there we go. We have our first shotgun in the 5th round. Cabal once again on the beloved Mac.
The Gabi Mac 7
And
харагсан.
I will be curious to see where they choose to position this because we
Тэгэхээр
said
шарын дээр
a lot of
гарна
places
шүү
you
дээ.
can play this. Of course, you can play a little bit in secret, play on top of hut. You know, you can play a little
Mind
bit
яваад ирж байгаа юм
rattier,
байна.
over towards B site as well.
Gabi
Let's have a look.
Mac 7-тэй. Тэр орж ирдэг дээр л майнд орж ирдэг дээр л
Not going to find anything. It's just going to back away, not wanting to
тахан
push
бусаад
through that.
залах юм байна л да.
But readying up, holding down this ramp. Absolutely stellar performance so far.
Яа унлаа дааг нь 25% HP-тэй болсон.
Puts him down low.
Дахиад secret руу ороод байна.
Not able to see anything through the
Secret руу
absolute
4
smoke
орчлоо.
screen here, so they will get down secret. But Yami
Мосия
waiting
minded.
here. May get overwhelmed, however.
Үу,
Can't
Jam
get a
Young.
single kill. Jam
Яа
Young
гэхдээ
is
нэлээд ил зогсож
absolutely
байна доо.
there. Molotov
That's
stop
rough.
anyone dropping down too quickly. Cabal still here. Wanting to do something, but
Аа,
caught
тэр нэг
out
талаар
completely
мараад
wrong
ирсэн.
angle from Max 7 there. Not able to get into
За энэ дахиад сейвлэх баха.
effectively. Bomb
3-2 боллоо.
Coolest outside gonna back away here. Messiah waiting to see if anyone's willing to push secret. But it looks again like another save here. Just letting Cyclone get the rounds, wanting to keep
So
hold
the
of these
дараагийн
weapons. As
round
we said,
нэг-
weapons more important than a half-baked attempt at a retake.
Сонин байл гарах юм байна да.
Right, I'm back. Here
You're
we go.
back.
I'm back. I'm back and I'm ready to rumble. Alrighty. I should sound a lot better as well.
Ooh, you do. You sound crispier, clean.
No, not for you. You've been
I was
hearing this
trying to
for
hype you up though. I was trying to hype you up, you know.
За Cyclone 3 дараас раундыг авчлаа.
3-2 then. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. We're trying to pull this one back, and of course, being on their T side of Nuke, it's very, very important to be picking up these early rounds. And yeah, to be honest, if they can win this next, which obviously they've got a massive economic advantage in, then they're going to force their opponents onto another one of these sort of shaky-ish buys, and they can really start to pick up a bit of momentum here. So, rifles out. No AWPs available. Double Max 7s though, which is...
Yami nimet нэг Max 7 гаргаад ирсэн байх шүү.
Unfortunately, Cabal caught completely out of place and wasn't really able to put it to much effect. But this is looking promising.
Yami Cabal Max 7-тэй.
Oh, I like this from Cabal. On the other side of the smoke, as soon as it fades, he could be in for a bit of a field day. The issue is the fire rate of that Mag 7's pretty slow. He'd probably be good for one, and then he'd be overwhelmed, so has to take a more passive approach to it. Yami takes contact, he'll fall back. And ATOX have done a decent job at just wasting a bit of time here, but they are at a man disadvantage. Cyclone have kind of got all the cards in their hands right now.
They do indeed.
The
And
mind
this Mag 7 is not the
goes
weapon you want to be trying to hold down ramp alone with. Here's back up.
The angle with him, lovely little crossfire. He'll try and draw the attention away as Cabal will aggress. No!
Масаяга ороод ирсэн байсан гэж анзаараагүй болтоод 3-2 болсон. Yami Mindас нь Max 7 өрөөд ороод ирсэн дээ.
And this Max 7 not the weapon to try fight back with from this angle. You know, lots of these are going to be long distance
That's
fights.
how it's
Really playing up close and personal there. So it will likely just
Cyclone 4 дараас раундыг авч байна.
So many times already. And it's absolutely devastating to watch another round slip out of their hands.
Well, 4-2. And yeah, Cyclone, it's a big round win. Couple of players here on that. Awkward cash, just about enough to buy into this next. With those two rifles being saved, it gives them enough to work with, of course, but certainly no sniper available again. Yami will hold on to that Galil.
Absolutely.
So the firepower.
За 4-4
absolute maximum.
Yami Galilтэй. За тэр нэг раундуудаа нэг жоох авахгүй л энэ ч тоо. Service rate харж байгаа.
I'm trying to find space as well. Cyclone's use of utility on this map has been incredible. Have a look. Outside immediately. Molotov to try slow them down.
За mind гүйч гээд л байна да.
It's a lovely opening first time.
Яа, Cabal-ыг тэр smoker spam-даад унгачлаа.
Too soon. Spam through the smoke will catch him out. Kaze
За тэгээ буцаагаад тагшаа гарцсан.
comes out on top.
Дуур тоглох гээд байна да.
Slips away. Bomb still in their hand.
Smoke л байна.
Outside. Plenty of time to do so. This has kind of been a bit of a recurring theme for Cyclone. Sort of making that contact early in the round so that they can make the decision on whether they want to try and snowball off of that and take the control, or whether or not they can reel it in and play elsewhere. And if you're leaving it too late to go for that initial prod, then you don't have that same kind of luxury. They've still got plenty of time to work with, and so far ATOX none the wiser.
Absolutely, and that will be the outside push there as well.
За Dopo Mercury-г унгаас Jam-ын гарсан дээр эдэн оруулж ирсэн.
Waiting for someone to walk into him. Jiggling around the corner. Time's running low here. Call with utility out, tries back into the corner. It will be Kaze to take it down.
Kaze ихтэй уулаан байгаа.
Gives them access to the site, but they haven't
За Мик Jam-ing унаас coolest read-ийг нь оруулж нэг эсрэг нэг уулаан тоглож байсан.
Oh my goodness.
Teammates Molotov.
За жоо хүлээсэн мөлий шатаад унжижтэй уулаан тоглож байсан.
Finds the headshot a tick before dying.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ямар азтай болчихоо.
And we see the first timeout coming through. That's devastating as well, knowing that if you just lived a second longer, it would have swung completely in your favor. That's a difficult one. And we've seen that happen so many times here, of course, for ATOX. But starting off really strong here, as we said, very CT-sided. So if Cyclone can keep this up, they've definitely already made a half for themselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, and whilst we're in this little bit of a break, I
Cappy.
announce that the winner of this will be playing
Апарч
Division
байгаа
in
байна.
the upper bracket.
Armor
And the
байхгүй.
loser, unfortunately, faces a much worse fate up against the Mongols later today in the lower bracket, do or die. So
It's a day of
За тэгээ
upsets,
Cappy
right?
хаашаа явах юм
It
бол та.
really is. Mongols lost 2-0 actually.
Wow,
Well,
that is
0-2.
brutal.
It is.
Actually, a very, very surprising result. And yeah, I was kind of thinking this when we were looking at this earlier.
Mind
It's like,
ганцаар явж байгаа юм байна.
yeah, this could be a pretty wild day, especially when Limvision want to map up.
За энэхэд дээрээ
ATOX
дөрөв авчлаа гэж
we kind of have a bracket the wrong way round, right? It's lovely that there is a lower bracket, kind of gives you a bit of a buffer, but I think the losing team of this will be maybe a little frustrated they have to play up against the Mongols.
True.
Яажван топууд дээр.
Maybe the short straw, but perhaps they're
Топууд дээр open flag-ыг оруулж ирсэн. 5-4 болж байна.
Here's him coming their way. Big.
Эцэггүй хоёр тоглож байгаа. Тэгээ томоодоос гарч Ямиг касаа
His
унасан.
teammates man advantage stays in their favor, and yeah, with that smoke posted, he can't stick
Secret дээр яваа орцсон да.
back off into the CT spawn.
Мосия Азараар гарч
Cyclone's
ирсэн.
still looking for a sixth hit.
Байталтай байна.
They start to work this bomb round to B.
I'll make it a little bit paranoid or squeaky, and rightly so, but we'll just back away. As I trained on this angle, we'll go completely unnoticed though. We'll just slip away and slip back through towards ramp.
Дан адвент бол ордоо квалист.
Big kill. So a two-man
Дөрөв
advantage.
эсрэг хоёр болсон.
Pretty done. Cabal probably
So
doesn't
Cappy
stick around with this AWP. There we go. Yeah, they've already made the call to
Буцаад
rotate.
60 яваарч
He's
байгаа юм биш үү?
definitely not going to do so. Mick with the botched molly
Just a little bit.
did actually have a little opportunity there, but as the bomb goes down, yeah, he is out of there. Doesn't want anything to do with it. His teammate will already
сэлж байгаа
be
манай
through to
манай
save that AWP. And it'll be 6 here for
6
Cyclone.
хоёр болж
Already
байна.
a good T half, and we're only just getting started.
It is indeed, and we said, you know, it was going to be very important for ATOX to find the rounds early on, so that they went into this sort of advantage going into it, because you never want to go into the T side down.
За хоёулаа мултахгүй.
So this is an absolutely stellar start for Cyclone here.
Лор бракт ройлоо. Тэгээ хоорондоо
We've seen them
тоглолоо.
save so many rounds
За
as well.
тэр
It's
тоглолтоос
good
бол
that
нэг
they're
нь
keeping
бол
the weapons
мултарна.
over, they're keeping it competitive, but they're really just not finding much damage. You know, they
Гэхдээ
only managed
ч
to take down
тоглолтоос
Daniel
болоогүй
in that
шүү.
round, which you'd really want to be seeing a little bit more coming out from them as well.
Well, rifles out again. Call us still with this AWP, but yeah, just lack of opportunity with it, really. Retrieved it toward the tail end of that last round. Buy up around him. Now, of course, they've got the max loss bonus. On the CT side, that isn't an inherent buy every round, but if you can save a couple of players, then generally you can scrape something together. I quite like this. Fast dive into vents. Is Call us going to try and go for the peek in secret? Yes, he will. The AK's already working their way around. He's made some steps. I'm not sure they'll hear him. Apparently not. Big entry. I love the initiative on that flight.
Yeah, we've seen some absolutely brilliant entries coming in from these players. Shamyang gonna push the issue as well. Make sure that he is safe as well. No point in being there if he can't keep himself alive.
За 5-4.
Coolest.
Crawling forward here.
За Coolest яг тусламтай.
Dangerous angle.
За
to be
nicely
holding with the
shot.
sniper, but he is so quick.
Advent just left to the wolves. Their teammate dives into vent.
За тэр кабиг үүж байгаа. Тэгээ 2 цаас хонд баригдсан. 4-3.
Nice little refrag from Kaze. He does keep the numbers somewhat contentious. Dobu lingering towards ramp. Doesn't want to
40
commit to
секунд
the B
явцсан
side. This
байна.
is kind of the issue. Firstly, he knows that there was a player in control, so it's a bit of a dangerous cross. And secondly, even if there wasn't someone in control, fully committing to that B site.
Давцаа гасчихж байгаа юм байна. 10 гол олох гэдэг энэ. За Моси яг Мик бариад авах хэрэгтэй.
Messiah creeping up ladder. His teammates coming to join him, but Mick's still here behind the second bench. Should be able to find him. No, misses the shot.
Уулаа.
And so slightly kills go back.
Хоёрын эсрэг
Now
хоёр.
a 2-on-2 here.
Coolest вэн дээр гарч ирж байгаа.
No scope.
No scope хийсэн.
Even it up, and
За
it's
хоёр
not
тоглож
really
хоёулаа л
both
уулаан да.
of them.
4 секундын хугацаа.
There's a grenade on Coolest as well.
За раунд авч чадсаа. 6-3 болгож байна.
That is ridiculous. It's such a shame we weren't watching that. But he's dead to rights. No blame.
Ямар бодчих тэр Вентес гарч ирж байгаа шиг байсан.
He's coming up the ladder with an orb.
Шатан дээр зогсож байхдаа no scope болчихлоо.
And he spins around and no scopes him coming off of the ladder. That is ridiculous. And well, I mean, if there's any kind of little micro play that is worth a round, it's that, right? You'd be feeling a little hard done by if you don't win the round after hitting a shot like that. So, as a reward, they get to keep their weapons. They get to buy into this next.
Cyclones мөнгөтэй байна өө. За шааргүйгээр ороод ирсэн.
Something a little more orthodox.
Шаар дотор мик байгаа.
And the trade is good. 4v4.
They do. They absolutely storm that site. W key, full throttle there. Now it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle to try keep hold of their stop anyone else getting onto site. But still very much up.
Давайсангүй Мосия. Микийг унгасан. Каби. Бомбтой тоглож бариад авсан. 3-3. За бомбоод Вент руу унтсанда Каса 1 HP-тэй. Доpo 20 HP-тэй. Dragon site нэрээс нөлгөч.
Kill from Mercury. The bomb goes down. This is for 7 for Cyclone. Coolest holding the cross, waiting for this rifle to get off of the site. Muscle, he doesn't need to. Support flash. Even gave him an opportunity there to peek, but opts against it. Just letting his timer run down. The bomb already halfway ticked, and Coolest really no closer to winning this round. Misses. Yeah, they're so patient that they even let him run away. Now, maybe that was unnecessary. They definitely could have taken out Coolest, but playing with caution is that's fine.
Absolutely.
You can't criticize for them playing with caution. So they'll carry across 3 AKs into this next. They'll put a 7th on the board, and they'll keep their heads held high. Fantastic stuff again from Cyclone.
Now this is already a half that you can be proud of going into your CT side as well. You've already got enough of a leg to stand on. The more you can get, the merrier, of course. But I would not be disappointed going on to CT side.
Oh, of course. Yeah. 7 rounds.
Max 7's back out.
Max 7 те.
Oh man. Okay. Well, it'd be nice if it does something, right? We've seen a lot of shotgun rounds in this series so far, and we've seen what, 1 kill, I think.
1, 2, maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
За гоё спамцсан да яг тэр смокны давсраар.
No, there's a tiny gap in the smokes. He's spotting them
Double.
across. Oh, it's just a
Double
big
kill
old
хийчлээ.
pet peeve.
Smoker spamдаад.
That is
Мосия 54 HP
this
те.
kind of level, having a gap in your outside smokes, and then not recognizing that after the first player's crossed and been killed.
Yeah.
Not dropping an extra flash or something just to try and get you across safely, just continuing to walk.
Авьяас 3. За хүний өхрөлгүй.
Mistake here.
Нэг тоглоод энэ раундыг авах хэрэгтэй л байна да.
Not able to put this gun to much use as well. Completely wrong side of the map. We say this so many times, you know, these shotguns can be very powerful in the right places, but you got to have the enemies coming towards you. You know, it's no use trying to play any angle other than what you've already got and you've pre-established as well, because you really can't take space with a shotgun.
Эрхий бэрүүгээл
taking weapon.
чиглээд байна да.
I mean, unless you're sort of very determined. I could see, you know, running towards someone full throttle with a shotgun, terrifying, but not the play.
Absolutely not. Messiah in the corner of control. There's actually 2 players in here, and nobody's holding for it. I haven't seen him yet. I'm not sure what the angle was there, but
За адвент 27 HP-тэй болоход болцсон юм. 3-2. Jamang double kill.
Put it back into a 2-on-2. This is now so winnable. They've just got to hit their shots, and Jamang continues to pile on the pressure.
Big Jamang
takes the control. Now he's got a good position for this, and a teammate that's fallen. But Nick comes in, taps the bomb. He's got a kit, so could just hold this offside seconder. Chooses not to instead.
Замик Jamang-ыг унгаж.
Fourth on the board here.
Бомбыг салснаар 7-4 болж байна.
Cyclone was they come
За нүгтэр City-гээсээ лахиулах хэрэгтэй байд юм да. Энэ матчта титлаасаа хэцүү матч шүү те.
Show us these round wins. You see a timeout coming here off the back of that as well. Trying to figure out probably how
ATOX-аас tactical timeout захиалж байна.
We can see
Тэгээд манайх лайк дараагүй юм байх юм лайк дараарай. Наа тэм чи үсчээвэл.
But money not looking great for them. Weapons shuffled around, you know, pass the parcel with your weapons. Do see the SMG coming out, which isn't ideal. On a map like Nuke, can still find a lot of benefit, find a lot of footing as well. But again, an important round for ATOX to win here, because if you just win one, you know, one and done, not great for the piggy bank.
Yeah, not very good for the piggy bank. I doubt these guys are carrying around piggy banks. They'd be a bit jingly, right? Give away your position.
Give away your position, jingle, 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 jingle.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Would make it a lot harder. Like, ooh. Gets
be a little more festive.
Low health.
Oh, the name goes down the vent. So
Тамасия бохчонтой HP те.
Trade is good though. Coolest. Yeah, just
За Coolest cassette trade оруулж ирсэн.
Bit there with the sniper and whilst he's got support. That support can't save his life and it can't find the trade either. So
Tommy өдөр нэг тод ороод ирсэн. Ерөнхийдөө хоёр толч нь хоёулаа лобби доо. За уулаан тоглогч нар байгаа даа да. Хоёр тоглогч нь хоёулаа уулаан. Вэн тулцсан. Бомбтой. Шууд дарах бомбо.
Yeah, for him it's a bit of a best case scenario to actually get that plant. I don't think he's really expecting to win the round.
За Capi унгасаа.
Fair play to him, but
7-5 болж байна.
It's going to be things all wrapped up. It's going to be a fifth hit for ATOX, and as I say, ultimately actually finding an opportunity to get that plant down is really a best case scenario. Gives them a little bit of extra cash, which it looks
CS:GO дэлхийн аврах хэзээ болдог юм бэ.
They had money, but you got to remember that.
За маш аврах гэж тэмцэн зохиолддог CS:GO төрөл дээр. За жилд тулны 2 удаа болдог тэгээд энэ жилийн хувьд бол сая 5 сард болоод өнгөрсөн. Монгол оролцсон.
To sort of get that extra money in, try and keep this economy healthy. There's still a few rounds left to be played at the half, and they're still hungry to take 9 or 10 rounds. So guns back out. Kaze on an AWP. Call us. He's been a bit of a menace.
Маш ор тэмцэн бол цуцлагцаа. Counter Strike 2 тоглоом гарах. гэж байгаа учраас.
Which is quite the investment, so you're going to need to find return on said investment as well.
Top 2 тоглож гадуур 2 тоглож яваад байна. Secret төлж тулаад ороод ирсэн Мосио.
Yeah, that.
Ямиг унгаж 5-3 болж байна.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, I get it, right? You've lost the early man advantage. He's trying to get a little bit aggressive, trying to find or take a little bit of map control.
Тач бүр heaven ороод ирсэн дээ. Capi дээрээс нь бариад авсан.
5v2 then.
За Мик. Double kill байна уу? Байсан Мики triple kill орж ирсэн 2-2.
This was a 5v2 and now it's even Stevens. AK and an AWP on both sides. It couldn't be any closer. But the bomb down.
Шар бүр дээрээ тулж гацсан. Энэ ч маш юу байрал дээр байна да.
They have a sneaky suspicion, but clearing him is going to be a pain.
Zaimaku, Mick. Yes, I know. Mick, yes.
Oh, he does get it. I thought that was him that died. Oh, that's ridiculous. That is.
Yes, he got bombs салгаж чагаа. Тэгээ оф болоод авсан. Яа, Mick ямар гоо өндөр импакттай тоглож байна.
The whole round's on his shoulders there, and that's just a round he has no business in winning either. Cyclone.
Бараг л хатж явсан раунд шүү дээ.
A real tilter, and just kind of diving into like the mental side of CS. I think losing a round like that could really take its toll on confidence. Now obviously.
Боджол одоо миний хувьд
7 rounds like.
Задсан чи AC гээд бомб салгаад болоод ирдэг юм байна баг та.
Pause or something off of the back of that. That's a frustrating round to lose.
It is indeed. But hopefully we'll see them come back with the fire, you know.
Таван тоглож тавуулаа лобби доо. За зэрэг нь модуудад гаргаад ирсэн дээр ч тоо. Уцаа шалгууг орчлоо. Топот 46 HP-тэй.
A lovely entry again.
Ганпор бол ер нь бол уг нь тааруул байгаа юм байна. За энэ дээр ч юу гарч ирээд байна.
Well, I mean, that's fine. You can take the entry. They don't have to be pressing from out control. Now, yeah, off of that little bit of silence, that little buffer, the CTs are actually going to try and re-aggress. They thought, after the kill came in on A, and then things went silent, they thought they were going to round for either outside
Ooh, no scope.
Shot from Coolus, my god. So yeah, they tried to...
Bomb Peter тавигдсан Cappy байсангүй Coolest 3-1 үлдсэн.
So yeah, lovely stuff from the C side, but they've certainly had their rounds where they've made their mistakes, and Coolest
Back-та нэг.
for one right now.
Заасангүй 8-6. За одоо ингэснээр ихний хагас сүүлийн раунд орж ирнэ. Мөнгө таар байна.
They don't want the orb.
No, they
ATOX мөнгө таар байна.
Now,
За Max 7 гарч ирсэн. 3 дийгэл. За Coolest Plus дийгэл гарч ирэх юм болоо.
to play with contestation. Some teams just outright refuse to because
За 4
it can be quite
дийгэлтэй.
painful and annoying. But to not pick up the orb, I think, was an interesting choice. Talking of interesting choices, look what is in the hands of Cabal once again.
За шууд гадуур
Up
тулцсан.
close and personal here.
Coolest.
Not gonna find anything. Shots through this night. Will actually
rough
lead to his
time.
demise.
Considering
Coolest
ATOX
jamming
have
бариад
been doing
авсан.
a decent job at trying to sort of recover this half, it's a really rough time for
За
the bank to be
Secret
broken.
л орж ирээд
Just
байгаа
Pistol
да.
to work with here in the
Zack
final
Secret
of the
ч ороогүй
half.
юм
Siren
байна.
K is picking up a couple of kills of their own.
Cappy
Max 7
Mercury-тэй
to
тулна.
get a little bit closer.
За хоёр талаас орж ирсэн. Араас нь Kaza орж ирж
Takes
байгаа юм
the
байна.
duel at this range. He's certainly not going to win it against those rifles.
Absolutely.
Cappy-г
not. It's
анзаарч
difficult
шиг
one
боллоо.
to be played no matter what here.
Зараг юм болоо.
Ooh. Gets a bit of damage.
Shot
Unable
right
to confirm the kill though.
За
What a
37 HP-д болгоом та та. За миг газар уулцаа 4-1 дийгэлтэй.
It's a powerful weapon if they're right up in your
За энэ бол
face.
нэлээ хэцүү.
Medium
96
range.
болж байгаа юм байна.
Good job.
Ooh.
Clean to finish things off. Messiah, lovely one tap. We're going to jump to a break. We'll be back in a
За
moment.
City талаас 6 раунд авлаа да ATOX. Нилэн яг тоглоод хичээхгүй л бол нүк л одоо цэвэр City талын мап шүү дээ. За тэгээд хэсэг хугацаанд дараа эргээд уулзъя. Энэ Ази авраг юм уу гэнэ? Үгүй энэ Intel Extreme Masters СИДНЕЙ 2023 тэмцээн рүү явах эрхийн төлөв тоглолт. Азийн бүсээс нэг л баг явна. 4 баг яг одоо энэ шатанд Closed Qualifier шатанд өрсөлдөж байгаа. Cyclone буюу X Rare Atom, Lin Vision, Mongols, за тэгээ нэг баг нь ATOX. Хоёр хятад, хоёр монгол баг өрсөлдөж байна. Нэг эрхийн төлөө. За энэ жилийн за Major-оос гадна Grand гэх юм одоо нэлээд тийм S tier-ийн, Super tier-ийн хамгийн шилдэг багууд ордог. Том тийм 4 тэмцээн явдаг. За тэрний нэг нь энэ оны хамгийн сүүлийн тэмцээн. За Plastийн бас S tier-ийн том багууд ордог тэмцээн явдаг. Тэгэхээр ер нь бол ESL одоо энэ IM буюу Intel Extreme Masters гэсэн нэртэй энэ тэмцээнүүд бол нэлээд өндөр цар хүрээтэй нэр үнд сайтай тэмцээнд байдаг да. Тэгээд эрхүү тэмцээнд явах эрхийн төлөө 2 монгол, 2 хятад баг өрсөлдөж байгаа.
Welcome back, everybody. A 9-6 half from Cyclone on their T side as well.
За тоглолтын
It's going to
шийдвэрлэх
be something that is difficult.
үе эхэлж байна да.
But we'll see.
ATOX-ын T талаасаа
all round. It's
гар
a little
бүний
bit of
раунд
a
авах
Dobu as well. A smoke, a
нэг
flash, a
шаардлагатай
G.
байна.
On
За
the
5
other
төгс
side of things,
тавуулаа
couple of players
лобби
going
доо.
cowboy mode. Jawley's dropped over by
За
Messiah.
шууд гүөх
Confidence
гээд
in
байна
his
уу та.
teammates, perhaps. A slow lobby take
Mind
here
луга
for
тавуулаа.
ATOX as they start to work their way round to
Энэ Advent-ийн дуал нэлээд гай тарина да.
Look at the jumping though.
За Advent-ийг ямар ч coolest маш урдан дээрээд нийлсэн. Араас нь хөөцөн доо.
Trying to keep himself alive.
Вүү. Jemyang.
2 more kills as well and still kicking.
Эсрэг хоёр болчлоо.
Looking good going into the late.
Яаметр хэвний дороос нэг толж байгаа. Дараа орж бомб тавигдаж байна. Добо. За бомб тавихгүй. За добо ямар ч унгаас шүү. Каса хэвнес.
Makes this winnable. Yami needs to win this fight though. Jawley's at this kind of range are really where they thrive, but falling from above. K's at that's
Info байсан
That's
бидтэй сая.
absolutely perfect. You just see the observer's stuck on the player on site and you just see a body.
Байгаагүй юм байна
Must have
л
been a
да.
bit of a jump scare.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but if I saw
Байгаагүй
somebody
юм. Би сая
falling
добо
towards me at high
каса
velocity,
араас нь гарч
I'd
унгаас
probably
тэгж
be
бодсон.
quite
Үгүй юм
scared.
байна.
I understand that being a concern.
Сайтанд байсан дуулж унгаас юм биш үү?
But pistol round, of course, going in the way of Cyclone. Stellar stuff. We'll see. Buy back though. ATOX have been very good about these sort of force buys as well, and they've got quite a good success rate with them as well. From what we've
За
seen.
тэгээ бомб тавьсан ATOX шууд force-лоод. Нэг АК, хоёр галилтай. За тэгээ нэг дийгэл. Нэг технай гаргаж ирсэн. За капиг харчлаагүй энэ.
Oh, he's done so much damage. There we go. I love the fact that he doesn't.
Добо капат Монголын дуу маань унатглаа. 5-3 болсон.
Double entry. ATOX already sort of locked out of this round before it's even gotten started.
Bit of a change in pace there. Everyone trying to figure out what to do now with ATOX. Got to try to figure out a new game plan as well.
Нүг тэгээд ер нь
Quite early on, not ideal.
хий талтаа маш хэцүү
Bomb safely
маталтай.
in their hands though. Don't have to go retrieve that, which is a
Яа
little
ингээд
bit
ялангуяа
safer.
хүний
But that
давуугаас
control
сэтгэл нь
absolutely
авчихаар
on lockdown here from Cyclone.
зад контролдоход маш асуудалтай.
Jamyang. Galil in hand. But not ready to take the duel. No one's
Их олон болон дохоо
шалгах
шаардлага гардаг
back
юм
towards
шиг.
this A site. 30 seconds left. Advent on the angle. And as the spams come through,
За шавтарсан
they are
дуулж
kind of
өмнөх
alerting their
унгаас нь давгна.
opponents to their whereabouts.
За байсангүй 11-6. За одоо ингээд
Finish things off. Guys,
эко раунд ATOX-оос орж ирнэ.
put them on to 11. Couple of nice kills with the MP9 as well. Give them a little bit of extra money. And that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Force buy disposed of. It should be a freebie in the next tier as well for Cyclone.
3 дийгэл.
And it's just about putting these rounds on the board as well. Of course, getting themselves closer and closer to series point here.
За 5 дийгэлтэй раунд.
We can see a couple of deagles coming out here.
За
Quite a few
ATOX-ын
coming out here, actually.
даралтуудыг харъя
They
да.
have been known to be lethal.
ATOX-ны.
So we've just got to hope that, you know, it's about hitting their shots here, playing together. Messiah absolutely running it
Даапнад
down
явуулаад
outside.
доббог
Misses
аваад
the pop
байгаа юм
there.
байна. Каса уулан дээр өсөн кулстиг унгаасан.
And it's already the two-man advantage.
Messiah бүр
pushed
шахаа
up
ороод
really far.
ирсэн.
Anyone tries to push outside, they have a big problem to deal with here. Thorn in their side. Well, taken down from the heavens there. So jumping around the box. Clean kill.
Messiah
takes off
дабл
the
кил
end.
орж ирсэн.
Going into
12-6 болчлоо.
19th round, sorry.
За одоо бай раунд орж ин. За энэ бай раунд авч чадахгүй бол бомб тавьж чадахгүй бол дээрээс.
I mean, rifles out on that T side now.
Байдал бол нийлээ өгөөдөндөө.
They've got an opportunity where they're against a bit of a bonus. They have a chance that they can start to pull this together. But it needs to be right here, right now. If they lose this one, this map, and ultimately, and quite sadly, this game might be too far gone. Jamyang throwing the early util outside, looking to try and take the early fire.
За майнлууд 3 тоглогч тулаа ороод ирсэн.
His vision, things slowed down, maybe a blessing in disguise.
Яа за лайнд ороод хоёр тулж хоёулаа уулаан болчихлоо. Ямар ч касыг унаач чадсан. 5-4 Mercury цонхтой өрөөнд ороод ирсэн.
Of course, the SMGs in play here as well, which can be absolutely lethal against the lower health. So you just need a little bit of a stray bullet, a couple of stray bullets, and suddenly Mech and Coolest not looking so healthy. But having those men alive on the board in the game is still more important, though. It gives you that pressure to apply, and even with the low health, it is sort of can't be counted out. No one really wanting to move there.
Их тоолж байна. За энэ Мосиа нийлээ эвгүй байралтай гарсан байж энэ да.
Such a perfect read on the situation.
За Капи тэрээдэг норлоо. Шууд 200 шивэнд үлсрээ ордог. Сайтны нэг төлөвч байсан нисээ унчлаа Кулес.
They're trying to wrap around, but yeah, Messiah just had such a spanner in the works.
Ямар замраг
bolted. Apprehensive there from that jump down, not giving sight a proper look as well, not calculating your jump.
6.
That's not the sort of thing that you want to be
За одоо энэ force их нүү ч тоо.
We've seen a couple of self-kills, a couple of team kills this game as well. Fall from the heavens.
Тэрийг шийдэж авах шиг байна. 3 дахь tactical time out ATOX хэллээ.
And definitely needed. Because we are getting closer. They're on a bit of an eco here.
За тэгээд ATOX доош унах юм бол lower bracket. Монголцтой тоглоно. 2 Монгол баг хоорондоо, 2 Хятадны хоорондоо.
Because that's sort of the goal at the moment, is trying to avoid that dreaded 15.
За тэгээ 2 хожсон 2 Хятадын хожсон нь
We will see a couple of tech
upper bracket-ийн финалд гарч ирнэ. За доошоо унсан учраас доошоо унсан 2 баг нэг илүү тоглолт хийн. Тэгжиж upper-ийн финал буцаж гарч ирэх юм боломжтой. Force by-га гараад ирж байгаа юм. За Jack Force ч гэж наашин Coolest ганцаар AK гаргацсан юм байна. За тэгээ 3 Tick 9 нэг P250 дээр раунд.
If he doesn't find himself a kill here, if they don't find a bomb plant, then he might potentially be down to a Galil, which would be a bit of a hard hit for them to take, to be honest.
It would be.
Down to the MP9, and slow stuff here for ATOX.
Just constantly smoked off, not able to find any sort of footing with this AK as well. Just being constantly pushed away. HE not gonna find anything. Bit of a slow round. I say that. Dive down the vent.
Oh,
they will be chased up.
Бомбинг бариад авлоо энэ одоо. За Mercury ч дүр баллаа ичлөө. Допо ганцаар үлдсэн.
That's bad.
14-6.
Didn't have too much invested into this round, but the fact that Advent has just got away with that.
Одоо жинхэнэ дүү ордаа раунд орж ирнэ ATOX-оос.
Unbelievable indeed. That was when they sort of all started piling out. It was a really dangerous position, of course. That
Coolest
sort of
Mark
MP9
10.
really not the weapon you want to have.
За тэгээ
chasing
4 AK.
Especially down vent when you're in an enclosed space as well. So that was all very much over as soon as it started.
За тэгээ энэ раундыг алдах юм бол тэгээ ерөнхийдөө GG гэж хэлэхэд бол болно да. Муухай нээд бай. За тэгтээ харьцангуй бас гайгүй. Капи унгаасан Jamyanгийг За Капи вент руу болгоо орцсон. За эндээс бол өстой юу л юу юм дээ. Secret-ийн тоглогчийг унгааж болно. Одоо ийшээ яваад бол хэцүүлтэй. Хаалга дурагч юм уу цон хагарахад шууд инфо очно. Тэрний орон зүгээр Secret-ийн нэг тоглогчийг унгаавал яа гэм бол тоо л гэж бодож байна. За Secret-ээс нэг тоглогчийг унгаасан. Бэдэр бол тоглож байхгүй. Мик Advent дээр kill оруулж ирсэн 5 эсрэг 2, 4 эсрэг 2.
Then off of the back of it, he's just taken loads of control, snuck around lowers, not even pressing onto the site, actually making sure he goes and clears out secret, which is a position that
Triple kill Cappy-гийн.
occasionally played, but it's not like they've had somebody in
Хаалвич фиштэй тоглогчлын раундыг аваад өгчлөө дөө. Cappy 14-7 болж байна. За маш их апас авилж байна.
Even a slight turn of the head and he would have been in the field of view and
За одоо эндээс comeback-ийг оччихдаг юм болоо ч тоо тэгээд
It's not like there was going to be
I think
another
maybe
player
it was a
in
little bit of
secret.
BM, I'll say it. Just a little bit of humor there. Because it wasn't the sort of angle that you wait for another person. But
Yeah. Maybe just making sure the crosshairs on the head.
Gotta
Don't
make
want any
sure
embarrassment. Big
Saving
game, big
bullets.
important game on stream. Yeah, I guess.
because you know if you'd whiffed
Долоо раундын зөрүүтэй.
you'd never have lived it down. So making sure that
За Микт
keep their name clear.
Baby AK-аар
No
тгсэн.
stains next to their name and don't get harassed in team chat as well. Yeah, I can't imagine. You missed a shot at that sort of range when they're not looking at you, and it's that's a dignity ending one.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with this. Weapons out then. AKs all round for ATOX. Kaze with his AWP once again. Ooh, okay. Went for a little zigzag flick there. I thought that connected, but just narrowly misses. Starts to reel this in. Timing. Oh, it's impeccable. Does get the reload in. They start to reel it back a little bit. Down to 1:20 on this clock, and some outside smokes start to come down. Try and get a safe.
За гадуур смокууд оруулсан.
To work with, though. There we go. No longer second smoke
Эзэнгүүгээ
busted. They've
утаад.
got lots of space
За шууд
outside
эзэнгүү
now.
рүүгээ орох юм
There's
болоо
plenty
да.
they can do with this.
За том руу. Том үүднээс нөлж унгаас Heaven дээр хоёр тоглож байгааг. Ями тэр унчаас нөлж чиг унгаацсан да.
That second headshot from Yami was so
Beautiful.
crisp.
Унж явсан тоглогч.
And that's
Тэндээс доош усарчсэн тоглогч шиг агаар дээр л
hitting the shots here.
буучлаа. 4 эсрэг 2.
Not a lot you can do if you're
Шараар нэг
on
тоглогч.
that one.
Алхаа ороод ирлээ
And
Cappy.
there's really not much you can do to get back into this round.
Тэр араа тэр.
Well, having said that, Jamia wants
Smoke-нд
to
итгэж
fight
болдгүй юм
it,
да.
but on site narrowly dodges Coolest.
14-8.
But that is another round on
За
the
6 раундын зөрүүтэй.
wanting to try to keep this map competitive, wanting to keep a match point, series point out of the clasps of Cyclone here. And they will do successfully, but how long do you think their sort of streak can continue? How long do you think that they can sort of keep this up?
I'm really not too sure. I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're completely out of this, right? But there's a long way to go. And when your opponents are on 14 as well, it's one thing being behind in a game, and it's another thing being behind whilst your opponents are right on the cusp of series point. It only takes one mistake here for ATOX, and all of a sudden they give their opponents 50. Really no margin for error.
Even less margin if they hit 15 as well. So this is every single round here is vital.
За тэр сая
We're already
хэний
at the point where there's not
AK байв
much
та.
wiggle room, not much room to play
Cappy
with.
AK байсан.
Um,
Gold
just one
Rescue гэдэг
mistake,
бас.
and it is so close to over
Лээ
for
үнтэй
them,
AK харагдаж
which,
байна.
it's got to be a difficult one.
За
It's gotta
гадуур
be
смокууд
difficult
орж
on the
ирж байгаа.
mental,
Томми
having
үдэ
to keep
утсан.
that sort of high intensity for so long.
За эзэнгүүг утахгүй бол ч та 2-2 тоглож байна.
Now, oh, that's big. Messiah. Lovely angle. Trade is there, but Mercury here to pick up the pieces.
За 4
Crossfire
эсрэг.
is just so perfect.
3 эсрэг 1. Мик ганцаар болсон 17 HP-тэй.
Final man as well. It's Mick. He's been dinked down low, 17 HP and a max M. All that he has to work with, and not
За match point авчлаа.
finish off the job. And 15-8 the scoreline goes.
Cyclone.
I mean, Cyclone. They have really pulled out all the stops here.
Absolutely. Incredible stuff that we've seen. And as we said, it is series point now, map point.
За 5
series
AK гарч ирж байгаа юм байна.
And it is so close to being another victory here. Cyclone wanting to make good of winning 2 games against them in 2 days. They're going for a bit of a record here. And the advanced position there will get down secret. A little bit of damage taken though.
And mean, what a reverse sweep this has been. All credit to Cyclone.
За уян бас Молли доод авсан байж шүү. Гарууд.
It didn't seem like their heads were in the game on Ancient, but
За би тэр 2 тоглож 3 ш тоглож байгаа даа.
And actually more so since the second half of Overpass, they've just been unstoppable.
Манайхан бэрэг орж байна.
They really have.
ATOX were given a taste of victory. They were teased.
За нэлээд хэцүү юм руу орхон дээ.
It has indeed. There's still a chance for them to fight for it as well, but it is definitely.
Трейдүүдийг л хурдан оруулж ирэх хэрэгтэй.
Having to get 6 in a row for overtime.
За Каби Мосег унгасан. Майндас 2 тоглогч ороод ирсэн. 4 эсрэг 2, 3 эсрэг 2 болсон. 2 эсрэг 1. Мик ганцаараа 1 эсрэг 1. Бомб өөрт нь байхгүй юм байна. Сайтанд дунсан юм байна бомб.
Just has to hold his nerve, stay true to his decision making, and I think Mix just spotted him. Kaze.
Yeah. Микийн triple kill. За бага амьд үлдээж чадлаа. 15-9.
One man keeping the whole weight of the world on his shoulders, the whole weight of the game on his back there. And succeeds, of course, keeping it competitive, trying to bring it a little bit closer, trying to take it to overtime here. Whether or not that they can do it, that's another matter, but they live to fight another round here.
Yeah, doesn't let the nerves get to him. Big stuff. Very well played from Mick, picking up a 2v1 there. And actually breaks the bank of the CT side. And despite the fact that a couple of them are on double eco, they still...
За Cyclone 5 гарбуута 1 P250. Нэг дигэлтэй 3 USB. За энийг хүний охирлгүй л авах хэрэгтэй дээ.
Definitely a real opportunity for ATOX to take 10, 11 rounds, and then we really do have a game on our hands, and then you can start looking back at that.
За Капи Том Ютнээс Мосег унгасан. Бент нээж үтсэн юм байна.
Yeah, that one was very winnable.
It was indeed. Fight in the lobby goes completely ATOX.
Coolest double kill. Миккури ганцаар үлдсэн. 15-10 босоо. Хүний охирлгүй раунд авлаа. Маш чухал байсан.
They don't care about feel good rounds. They don't care about sympathy rounds. What they want is to pull this back the distance. It's overtime or bust here for this series. Otherwise, they have to face the lower bracket run where they'd have to play up against the Mongols.
That is a difficult fate as well.
За Cyclone tactical timeout ихнийхээ авч байгаа юм байна.
They're first of the map actually.
За тэгээ бай раунд оруулж ирнэ.
Now they're probably just discussing because of course this is just about the final push here. You know, just getting yourself over the line. You need one more round. You've got 4 chances here to close it out.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, those MP9s definitely coming out. Mercury with one, Advent will have the other. The rest can pull out something a little more substantial. Not wasting a penny though. No helmets.
Against the likes of the AK, don't necessarily need them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They can come in handy
За 2 MP9,
the barrage utilities.
2 M4 1.
If we see ATOX hitting their shots, you know, the clean one tab, it doesn't really matter whether you got the head armor.
Cyclone's.
Yeah. It's one of those luxuries that you buy if you've got the cash, and yeah, that's really not the case here. Advent actually gets a free M4 as well. Jamyoung's happy to take that MP9 just based off his position. A little bit of damage from the mollies.
За open frag. Double байсан Mercury трейдийг нь оруулж ирлээ. Jamyoung гэж та. Майндаар нь пушж орж ирээд. За 4 эсрэг 2 болчлоо. 3 эсрэг 1. Капи ганцаар үлдсэн. Тэр бомб сайтлуур унчлаа. За нийлээ байдлыг үгүй болсон доо.
3 versus 1 and a very difficult situation to be in. He has got the bomb on his back though. Oh no he doesn't. It's on the site. No silver linings really to take away here. Fully defended on this as well. All 3 players in a bit of a triangle formation. There's no way he gets into this. He's got to pick apart so many jewels, and there we go. He's facing the wrong way. A bit of freebie for.
Thanks there 16 10-аар. Cyclone ATOX-ыг хожлоо 2-1 харьцаатай нийлбэр дүнсэн тоглолтын харьцаагаар Загсдэр лоор бракт руу унж ATOX Монгол багууд 21 цагаас хоорондоо тоглох боллоо 1 цагийн дараа гэсэн үг. За тэгээд upper bracket-ийн семифиналд Clean Vision болон X Rare Atom буюу Cyclone багууд тоглохоор болж байна. За тэгээд за хятад хоёр багийн аль удсан финал шалгарна. Upper bracket-ийн финалд. За манай хоёрын хожсон нь хоёр хятадын хожигдсонтой дахиад нэг тоглолтыг хийн. За тэгээд буцаж upper bracket-ийн финал руу шалгарах юм байнамаа. За тэгээд нэг л баг СИДНЕЙг зорино. За тэр баг нь одоо Монгол баг байх болтугай гэж ерөөдөө. За тэгээд та бүхнийг тоглолтоогоо цуг байсан та бүхэн маш их баярлалаа. Монгол багийн дэмцэнд баярлалаа. Дараагийн стрим болон кастер эргээд уулзлаа. Түр баяртай залуучуудаа. Маш их баярлалаа.